Under the same roof, we share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. And why do we stand in love's pure might? Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. Tonight, we have a special guest coming on. She goes by the name of Mama Flips. We're waiting on her to arrive. But until then, we're going to cover some of the things that are happening. As you guys know, I covered the New York City Knicks parade. It was so insane. We could barely even take 2 steps ahead, and then we stop and go. I have a lot of video coming out to show you guys some of the things that we experienced. I see so many people here already. Thank you guys for coming in, hitting the like button, sharing, and subscribing. I see a lot of purple flower lately. So amazing. We have Stella and Brian and also, but listen, I want to go over a lot when it comes to tonight. I'm going to give you the lay of the land of what we're going to be covering. We're going to talk about the president of the United States and the Iran deal. All right. Hopefully Mama Flips will join us soon. We're also going to go over Luigi Mangione. We've been covering that case. In this particular instance, Luigi Mangione has the state trial, but he also has the federal trial. So the state trial will begin in September. I'll be in the courtroom covering that case. And then the federal trial will start at the beginning of next year, which will be here before we know it. Luigi Mangione, that particular case involves the young man who allegedly went on the streets of New York, and he stood out one early morning and pulled out a gun and took the life of Brian Thompson. He was the CEO of United Healthcare. A lot of you probably remember that. Well, they were able to find Luigi Mangione. One of the key reasons, and we're going to get into this with Mama Flips when she comes on, one of the key ways that they were able to determine perhaps that he was a prime suspect, he was staying at like a hostel and he had on a mask and he pulled it down to show his face to flirt with the clerk, and it was on camera. Also, they caught him. We saw it in court, at least for the federal case. We saw him in court, the taxi. He caught a taxi ride and they had video of him in the back seat. And so that was very damning in regards to his case. So we're going to get into all of that. There's new breaking news in regards to Luigi Mangione that occurred this week. Is that actually something that I had predicted after going to court and seeing him and also understanding how his attorneys work? Because as I told you, his primary attorney is Karen Agnifilo. That's Sean Diddy Combs' attorneys, who is Mark Agnifilo. Well, that's his wife. So Luigi Mangione actually has the both of them along with another attorney. So he has sort of a dream team, very similar to Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf. When we have these big cases, often people are able to raise GoFundMe, all sorts of funds. So in this particular case, Luigi Mangione, I think he raised 1.5 million, and that has went toward helping him to fight for his life in 2 cases. And then keep in mind, folks, that after these 2 cases in New York, he has to go back to Pennsylvania where he was arrested. And I think they had a whole list of charges, I believe somewhere between 5 or more, involving obviously the things that they found in his bag. The big point of contention when it comes to Luigi Mangione, they were trying to say that he was not read his rights within a reasonable allotted time. And so that's the reason why in the state case, a lot of these items that were in his backpack have been struck or prohibited from the case. Now, when I attended the federal case, and this is something that I see online, a lot of people are getting confused, even other YouTubers, and sometimes in the mainstream media, the legacy media, people are just saying, oh, they can't use these items for evidence against him because of the police making these mistakes. But what they fail to realize, he has two cases. As I explained, he has the state case and he has the federal. In the federal, when we attended the hearing, it's a female judge, okay? In the state trial, he has a very elderly judge, male judge, okay? But in the federal case, it was a very short hearing, nothing like what we saw in the state. And basically, from what I can understand from the judge, is that they have a policy in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where he was arrested in the McDonald's. They have a policy that whenever you are placed in jail, when you go to the precinct, and we were able to see the video, just like in most of these cases, when Luigi Mangione came in, they stripped him down, but they would put all your items into this little locker. And what they do is they take an inventory. Let's say if a guy had $500 in his pocket, it would go on the list. So the argument in the federal case is that no, we don't need all these officers coming in and there be a big debate about reading his rights and what we're going to strike from the case or withhold, because these items would have been seen anyway when they were inventoried into the jail. Okay, so for the federal case, you won't find what happened in the states. So you have to be able to divide these two cases. But either way, the state case is what we're going to be covering first. That's going to be happening. Now, Luigi Mangione has quite the fan base. I don't like saying it because I've met most of these individuals. When it comes to the media, they always slant the girls. There's a few guys that like them too. They try to slant it as though these are just like homeless girls or just teenagers. I've heard all sorts of descriptions, right? But when you really stop and think about it, and I actually get to know them, a lot of them work for nonprofit organizations. Some of them are paralegals. And I would sit in court day after day. I mean, this hearing that we had went on for weeks, and they brought in 13 officers, and we're sitting in there, the windows open. It's kind of chilly. Very big courtroom, nothing like what I experienced in Texas with these small courtrooms. But the last two rows are full of girls, amazing girls, very smart girls, from all different walks of life, older and young. A lot of them are wearing masks because they don't want anybody to know who they are, or perhaps they don't want to be slanted as being a Luigi Mangione follower. Okay, so hopefully Mama Flips will be here and we can go through this together. But at any rate, I would see some of the girls and they would say, "Oh my God, he looked at me." And they're just sitting there hoping that Luigi turns around, because from what I understand, a lot of the girls would write him correspondence. And so that's the name of this whole process. I guess they're trying to figure out who he's going to like the most. But yeah, this guy who is on trial, two trials in New York alone for murder, he has a whole fan base, much different than what I just experienced when I went down to Dallas. Yes, indeed. But they both had a murder charge, but this one is quite different. Then we're going to talk about Elena Moore. Have you heard about the case? The young lady, she was a trainer, right? Working out and all sorts of things, living her life. And then all of a sudden, she went missing a couple days ago. And now they found the remains of a female that they said her clothes fit the description. So I'm on standby. I might, if I see some of the other guys of true crime, go to that direction. I might go and check out this case as well, flying down into South Carolina. So if something develops, I will definitely go support some of my colleagues in this field. Let's see what happens. But this is what I call a legacy case. So let me just give you a little background. Again, I'm freestyling tonight because I was expecting Mama Flips to be here already. So it is what it is. We're going to rock and roll. Maybe with all the traffic in the city today and all the people, maybe there's some disturbance. I understand that in Times Square, there's a heavy police presence. So there's something going on in Times Square right now. I'm going to be covering that a little bit more too. Okay. But in regards to Elena Moore, we're going to get into that. And then we're going to really break down Donald Trump and what's happening in regards to Iran. So let's get started first and see what's happening in regards to the president of the United States when it comes to the Iran deal.
It was a lot of work last night. You saw
Guys, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
that, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Really fantastic. So I'll be doing a news conference at about 4 o'clock today. Before we leave, we're going to Paris. And then we'll be going home tonight, I guess, if you really figure it. So we'll be heading to Paris, where we have a big dinner meeting with a lot of the same people. And then we're going home. And it's been a very successful trip. A lot of things have happened that have been very good. We'll be discussing a little bit about the deal with Iran at the 4 o'clock news conference.
Guys, participate in the poll in regards to this deal that the president has made with Iran. But tell us in the audience, are you happy with the president of the United States and his deal with Iran? If so, put a 1 in the chat. If a no, put a 2. Put a 3 if you just don't care. Let's see what you have to say.
It's a great deal for a lot of reasons, but number one, by far, 99.9% is they will never have a nuclear weapon, and you can't give Iran a nuclear weapon, and they will never have a nuclear weapon, so that's very, very strong. It's a very strong deal. Nobody knows what it is, but it's very strong, and most people seem to be very happy. Who's really happy is the market, because the market's gone up thousands of points over the last 4 or 5 days since hearing about it. And the Strait is going to be opening. It's already partially open.
Wait a minute, Brian. So you're not happy with the deal? I would love to hear your explanation on it. Roderick says he's not too caring about this. All right. Thank you, Roderick, for participating.
And it's going to be opening up soon in full over the next day or two. And the market has gone wild, and oil has come tumbling down. Oil is at $73, $74.
That is true. The stock market is up today, and also oil prices are down, have come down quite a bit. Hopefully that can go into gas prices and we can catch a break. But we have to see how all of this materializes, because what I'm understanding is that Israel may not be too happy with this deal. Have you guys heard the same? Tell us if so.
And it's getting to very close to where it was before the crisis. The difference is now we have Iran without a nuclear weapon. So we'll see how that.
Okay, Victoria says he lies. You cannot believe him. Just gives a crap about himself. All right. Thank you very much, Victoria. Thanks for tuning in with Watching the World 777. Thank you.
All plays out. I think people are going to be very happy. But there's nothing so smart as the market. And the market loves it beyond anything that I've actually seen.
Now, I want to tell you guys, about a week ago, the market took a strong hit right as I was coming back from Texas. And that's when I knew the president was going to have to pivot really hard because that's the last point that he had that was actually pretty fair, was the stock market. So when it started to tank, I knew that they would try to figure out this Iran deal. I actually said it on the channel, right? Roderick, let's see what you have to say. Roderick says Israel wants to war with all the Muslims. Crazy how no dude is a war criminal. Okay, we also have Kelly Parker. Kelly says, of course, you will get a break. Midterms are coming up. As soon as they're over, Fighting will resume, if not sooner, right? Thank you very much, Kelly.
Again, the stock market has gone through the roof and oil has come tumbling down. I guess it's in the low 70s now, right?
That's right.
That's amazing. So that's what speaks.
We were going well over $100 a barrel, and now it's down tremendously. But we have to see if we can maintain and what it's going to look like to your pockets, right?
Louder than words. The alternative would be a worldwide depression. You know, the stupid people want to have a worldwide depression, and they're stupid people. So you can only go so far. You drive somebody into the ground, and a lot of bad things happen. Number one, the Strait would never open because they don't like floating billion-dollar ships up and down a strait when there are rockets flying over them and mines all over the place. So the Strait.
Stella says, like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to be notified for upcoming shows. Thank you very much. I just got word from Mama Flip. She's going to be coming in pretty soon here. Thank you guys for all you do. Let's keep moving.
It would never be open. It wouldn't be open for a long time. So we have a very hot stock market, and we have started to be a very low oil price, and that's going to have a huge impact on affordability caused by the Democrats. The Democrats have caused so many.
Of course, he's going to say it's the Democrats who created all of these problems, right? What do you guys think? Do you think it's the Democrats or the Republicans? Tell us all about it.
Problems, you have no idea, but I'll never forget I took over, and I'm in the office for one day, and I have my first news conference, and they said, affordability, sir, affordability, what are you doing about it? I said, I've just been here one day. They tell me about affordability. They're the ones that caused affordability. It's just another con job. They made up the word affordability, but we're bringing prices down a lot, and they're coming down fast. And with the settlement, so worthwhile, with the settlement where you're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and then we bring them down on top of that. And I think oil prices might get lower than where they were before the war. So I'm going to see you at 4 o'clock. And we'll discuss that a little bit, and we'll discuss other things. But we've had a great meeting. It's been a great summit. And France.
Okay, we have Flory says, is Israel leaving Lebanon? That's a very good question. That's one of the points of interest that I'm looking for as we do a breakdown of the points of the deal once they're revealed tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow is the big day.
France has done a fantastic job. President Macron has been he's really done a great job. It's been very well received. Everybody here has been, I don't know if they've been happy. Some are not doing so well, but some are doing very well.
In a few minutes, I'm going to show you that the GOP is actually pushing back so much on President Trump that in the night last night, he made some statements. We're going to get to all of that in a few minutes.
But they've done a beautiful job. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Press.
President,
Thank you,
can you
Press.
address the MOU that's been reported? It includes.
Have I read it?
Well, it's been reported that it includes its $300 billion.
It's false.
Fund.
Okay, so the $300 billion that everybody's talking about that we're going to give to Iran, $300 billion, he's saying that is false. Now, from other sources that I've seen, and also a lot of you guys, watchers, were talking about this the other day for our news at noon. You know, a lot of concern because the big debate is, why did Barack Obama give Iran all of that money so that they could enhance their uranium program, basically, right? And you often would hear President Trump says, oh, in D.C., they had to go to all the banks and take out all the cash, and they took boatloads of money over to Iran. This is what Barack Obama did. But a lot of people now are very upset because they say, okay, a part of this deal, we're supposed to give Iran $300 billion, okay? $300 billion. I think I've heard on the street that Mama Flips is very happy about that, but I'm going to have to ask her when she comes up. In fact, I'm going to bring her up now. Mama Flips, how are you? We can't hear you. Okay, we're going to give you a minute to get rolling here. Just go ahead.
Funded by Gulf allies. That's
No,
false.
it's false. People, you can invest if you want. I mean, what am I going to do? Say nobody's ever allowed to invest? No, we're not investing. We're not putting up 10 cents, and people can decide to do that.
Okay, guys, we're going to check in with Roderick. Roderick says, crazy how race becomes an issue, but I get it because the white security is a lie. If you show whites that they are better than the best of us blacks, they'll empty their pockets. Think about it, okay? Roderick that's your point. We have also SRP says Donald Trump, greatest president ever. So we have some people here not so happy with President Trump, and we have others that love him pretty much. He says ever. Okay, so Mama Flips, try to say something. Let's see if I can hear you. Okay, we're going to give her a minute still.
But that's up to them. I mean, do you want me to say nobody's ever allowed to invest in a country? I'll say it with Egypt. Nobody's allowed to invest in Egypt. Am I supposed to?
Guys, I'll be in Egypt next week. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a long trip. It should be exciting. I'm going to be going live. I'm actually going to have some great equipment so you can see things clearly. I'm going to do that for all of my good watchers. Let's see. Mama Flips.
Hey.
All right. I heard the new news. I'm so happy for you.
What's the new news?
They say you're now a Trump supporter.
Oh, please.
No?
Please give me a break. Now I need somebody to explain to me, why did we go to war?
Oh boy, here we go.
I need somebody to explain to me why we went to war. Because apparently, first of all, your president promised that we wasn't going to go to war. All right, so we already know that. We all in the same position. We realized that your president promised us we wasn't going to war. Now, your president now.
Hold on, I want to stop you for 1 second. It's offensive to me that you're saying my president because he's your president too, all right?
President. I ain't vote for him. I'm not taking claim. I told you from the beginning, we talked about this in the past. Just like my MAGA brothers and sisters, and I love y'all, so it's no offense. Please don't jump on my neck because I'm not being offensive to y'all. Just like y'all didn't claim former President Barack Obama, because y'all didn't. Don't come to me now. It's like, oh, yeah, he was everybody's president. Nah, buddy. Y'all did not claim my president. Y'all did not claim former President Joe Biden. Y'all definitely did not claim Vice President Kamala Harris. Oh, so nobody needs to come with me. Even if y'all try to play in my face about, oh, yeah, we accepted Joe. We expected. Y'all definitely didn't respect my black vice president. So the same way that y'all had that same energy is the same way I have the same energy too. I ain't vote for him. He ain't my president. So we good and we have an understanding. So here's the thing. Y'all came to me. All right, here we go. I'm already restricted. All right, because I guess my voice is a little loud, so I'm already restricted. Y'all came to me. And prior to him running for office, he specifically said he's not going to have any interest besides American interests, period. He said, I am the peace president. I'm sorry, I'm just coming from the the Knicks celebration. You see? That's why I'm running late. He said, I'm the peace president. He said, any president who engaged in any kind of warfare with Iran is a failed president. Right? And they just want to be voted in, and they want, because the economy is low, and they want to change the narrative. That's what he said. I ain't said there's a whole video. I could share the video with y'all if y'all want to, and which he said specifically. He said any president that go to war with Iran is a failed president. That's what he said. Right? I ain't say he said it. Throughout the campaign, he said that I would never go to war with Iran or anybody else. That's what he said. That's what he said. He said it. So anyway, when he finally went to war, I had a live and I asked my brothers and sisters in the community, including the MAGAs. A lot of my MAGA brothers and sisters came and talked to me. We talked to them before in our live, Mel. And I asked, why we go, what happened? Your boy said we ain't going to war. The explanation everybody had to tell me is that he did it. He didn't want to. But he's the only brave president to go into war because he needed to fight Iran because Iran left the deal and he wanted to make sure they no longer have the uranium. I believe that's the item. So they can no longer threaten us over our heads with uranium that could cause a weapon that could destroy America and destroy everything. And he's a brave man. He's a brave president. He's the only one that do that. So now I already called BS on all of that from the very beginning. I said, this is about some BS. It's about the E files. He's trying to change the narrative and stuff. And I was part of that conversation. But I said, let's see. A lot of people was talking about it. I said, let's see what he does. I actually had a conversation with someone who I recently met and I'm very fond of, part of my casino slot channel. Please join Mama Flip slot channel. I had a great conversation with her. She was saying that we're never gonna know, and she's a Trump supporter. She voted for him 3 times. She loved him. And I'm actually having conversation with MAGA where in 2016 to 2020, I wasn't talking to none of y'all. But I'm having conversation because I've grown as a human being. And she said she loved the man. She thinks that he's doing a great job. So I said, what about this whole war situation? When he promised that he wasn't going to war, she said, well, he had to do it. I said, well, he didn't have to do it. We had a conversation. It was a calm conversation. She said, well, to be honest with you, you're never going to know who's right until after the presidency. That's what she said. I said, okay. I said, I think I'm right. I think he's going to be a worse president in my lifetime. But okay, we'll see. She also said the reason why is because he wanted to save America from Iran because they're a threat. That's what he said. So then, okay, so I'm open up to suggestions and ideas and stuff like that. I'm now partnering with Mel, who's trying to bring me out of my darkness of the hatred of the Donald Trumps. And then I don't hate you MAGAs. Y'all my brothers and sisters. I'm talking about your president. I don't like it. He's trying to get me more open. So I'm waiting to see the peace deal and everything like that. So lo and behold, I was surprised. Oh, he actually signed a peace deal. It was about, almost 6 months too late because I thought you was about to have peace in a minute. All you have to do is call somebody and we ain't going to war. That's what I heard. I thought we wasn't going to go to war at all. But when we went to war, you were like, I'm going to give him a call. The war going to end. Go in week 1, week 2, 3, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But anyway, we're here. Congratulations. So then I'm like, okay, so he did it. Right? Because everybody was sure he was going to sign a peace deal. He was going to get America and put America in a great space. He is going to solve the problem. He's going to have a better Iran-America deal than former President Barack Obama. It was going to save lives. We wouldn't have no fear. Everybody's going to come at me and say I'm wrong in my face. So I decided, oh, okay, let me read what he agreed to. And later behold, he didn't have no agreement when it came to the Ukrainian at all. All he agreed is to pay them millions of dollars to get rid of the sanction so that he could open up the strip. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm going to ask again, and I'm going to leave the floor to Mel. What exactly, my MAGA brothers and sisters, did we go to war with Iran for? When we are not even protected. He pushed it down the aisle that we're gonna talk about it at a later time. Even Fox News and his own GOP is like, what the hell is this deal? He was played. I ain't saying look at Fox News. Even your own people is like, what the hell he did? So Mel, I'll leave it up to you. What did he accomplish with this?
Well, okay. You want to debate tonight?
Yes, why don't we talk about it? Because unless you know, I don't know.
To this day, our debate when I was, stepping in for Trump and you were going on the opposite, right? That's our biggest show today. We had like 100,000 people or something. But anyway, tonight we didn't advertise. The last time I was supposed to, debate. But anyway, I could tell you, I cover this every day. So for the most part, it was the issue with their uranium. You know that, right? Also, we did hear that, in fact, when I went out of the country to the Middle East about 3 weeks ago, I told you there was an individual. A lot of people were there from Iran. And one lady told me her next door neighbor, they were having this protest and the guy ran into the neighbor's home. She knew the guy for like 35 years. And he hesitated in telling the officers if the protester was in his house. Within 1 minute, they both were shot down. So you had all these things happening with their regime. And I think one time they were supposed to kill like an enormous amount of people, all sorts of things happening. Now, on the back conversation, we say, oh, it's definitely Israel that pulled us into this arrangement because remember, Netanyahu went down to Mar-a-Lago, had a meeting with Trump. Simultaneously, you had Jared Kushner
Okay.
and his counterpart, they were meeting with Iran. But after Israel kind of put their influence into the mix, that's when this war popped off, the bombing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm listening. I promise you, I'm
No,
listening.
that's it. So that's what we've been told.
Okay, so what did we get with the peace deal? Because apparently, according to my MAGA brothers and sisters, he was saving our lives. That's what I got. I mean, I got so much pushback from my brothers and sisters of the MAGA world because, you know, I love y'all. Y'all may be mad at me, but I actually sat and I actually listened to them. And they were, and there was one, especially one Navy personnel that I actually spoken to, the mom, right? Because I was going in. I was very upset about the war. And she came in and she said, I hear what you're saying, but she said, you know something? The fact is, I don't like this any more than you do, but the fact is my son is out there and I'm in fear. And I said, you know something? I said, I hear you. I said, you know something? I'm going to be less angry because I am a former Marine, right? Also, I lost my nephew, Lance Corporal Nicholas White, in Iraq-Afghanistan war. And we are Gold Star family members. So I'm going to show you respect and I'm not going to drag him because your son is there now. And because I know the fear that my family went to. And unfortunately for us, our family member never came home. So from that moment, I didn't drag him about the war, unless when we talked about it, I gave my opinion, but I didn't call him all kind of name like I would. I was very respectful. And I said, I'm going to wait and see because she said to me that the reason why he's doing it is because he didn't want to. She said, because I fear for my son, but I understand why he had to do it. She said, and I'm going to do another live on TikTok because I want to get her back on my show. She said the reason why he had to do it is because he's trying to save us. He's trying to save America because he feels that Iran is a detriment to our country. So that's what she said. I respected it. I spoke to other people. I just now, if you guys think I'm surprised that we got absolutely nothing out of the deal that was promised to us, then you don't know me. So unless Mel could come in and say that he actually has a deal in regards to ensuring that inspectors come into Iran to make sure that they're not using building up the uranium, right? That they have an annual inspection, right? And that they have a deal not to build up unless Mel, my co-host, the host with the mostest that run this channel, could tell me that happened, that I don't know why we went to war with Iran. So, Mel, can you tell me that? Because according to Fox News, and you know I don't listen to Fox News, but according to Fox News, they're very upset. According to some of the GOP representatives, they're very upset because they're like, what are we doing? Like, we're releasing billions of dollars of sanction. The reason why we have this sanction is to ensure that they don't build their uranium, right? So we're going to release billions of dollars of sanction. We're not holding them in line in regards to the building of uranium. So that means there is still a threat to us. So what the hell are we getting for the loss of life that we had, right? What happened? So yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So,
very good question. I want to pull up the video now so that we can show everybody exactly what you're talking about in regards to, let's see if I could find it here. Okay, here we go.
Criticism of the agreement the president signed with Iran, and a lot of it is coming from members of his own party. And this morning, before dawn, the president indicated he does not like these comments one bit. Now, the concerns raised include the pause in sanctions allowing Iran to sell oil immediately, the lack of specifics on curbing Iran's nuclear program, the opening for Iran to ultimately charge fees for ships to transit the Strait of Hormuz, and beyond the text of the plan, criticisms of the new comments. Self-made, suggesting Iran should be allowed to have missiles, even though one of the stated goals of the whole war was to destroy their missiles.
All right, what do you say about that?
Okay, whoa, it's worse than I thought. Wait a minute. Okay, no, MAGA brothers and sisters, hold up. hold up.
Come get her, Brian.
MAGA brothers and sisters, I was told one of the reasons why Donald Trump insisted that he needed to go to war is because there were ships that was coming towards our shore that actually had the missile, right? My stuff keep getting restricted. TikTok is probably gonna kick me out. That has the M that was long enough and far enough to reach the United States of America. I was told that's the main reason. That's the second reason. Besides the uranium, the second reason is because they have long range miss. We're gonna call them miss. You telling me now that he's allowing them to build additional miss? Is that what I just heard? That you guys are telling me that Donald Trump, one part of the deal that Donald Trump has is to allow them to have to build additional miss?
You can say the word. It's okay.
Well, I can't say it on TikTok. And I have TikTok on. I'm already restricted 3 times. They probably going to block me. Is that what we're saying? That's crazy. That's crazy. And y'all wonder why black folks don't want to be bothered with this nonsense. Y'all wonder why black folks don't want to be not bothered. I'm one of the few that's willing to talk to y'all about this. The rest of us, we don't got nothing to say to y'all. We don't have anything to say. We have no concept about what happened. We feel like, a lot of us feel like we're living in a twilight zone. We have nothing to say. What do I say to you guys? What in God's name what kind of excuse can you give me about why we went to war with Iran? And now why is he signing a peace deal, allegedly, giving them billions of dollars, giving the authorization to build a miss that could hit us? Miss that could hit us? And that's happening to uranium. What? Somebody.
You okay?
No, I can't. I can't with y'all. I can't with y'all. I can't with y'all. I cannot with y'all. Y'all really put this guy in our life. Y'all really voted for this man again and put him in our life. Y'all really voted for this guy again, and y'all trying to sell us like we don't understand where we live in. Like, I feel like I'm in Earth 2. I feel like Star Treks. You ever saw Star Trek, the movie? The latest Star
I
Trek.
believe so.
There was a time warp when Spock went through the black hole. And when he got to the other side, as a result, because he had this black, like, oozing.
You describe everything with color, don't you?
Yes, I do. And on the opposite side, he realized that Kirk was a different Kirk, Spock was a different Spock. They weren't friends. It's a whole movie. That it was a completely different timeline. I'm no longer on Earth 1, living in my regular timeline in a peaceful, wonderful world where Kamala Harris would have been president and Tim would have been vice president. We would have been living in a quiet, peaceful existence where I would be living a good life, traveling and having a good time. I'm living in a Donald Trump catastrophe. And you guys put us there.
Have you seen what happened to Minnesota?
What happened to Minnesota? Did it get better after the unalivement of Nicole and Alex? Did it get better? Did it get better? Did we send all the
one of your favorite YouTubers, Nick Shirley, went out there and found all that fraud, remember? And also you had a big problem with immigration, right?
So the immigrants went home. Did they clear the immigrants? Everybody left Minnesota? All the immigrants left? Because as far as I'm concerned, he got fired, didn't he? His bitch ass.
Okay.
He got fired.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
He got fired, and then they had to dismantle and leave Minnesota. There's only a skeleton crew there, as far as I'm concerned, because the unalivement of 2 Americans. So it did not work over there. Also, Nick Shirley obviously has not gone back and continued his expose because they clowned him and they found out that he was a liar, right?
A liar?
He is a liar because there were kids in that daycare center. In fact, my son went down there and did his own story. He was able to talk to some of the people, and there were kids in that daycare center. So he's a liar. Yeah. So I'm waiting for the DOJ big, huge arrest warrant. When it comes to that, I haven't heard. Maybe we're still waiting for the.
Hold on 1 second. Let me give a shout out to Queen's Flips. He went out there and covered the story. I saw that. Anyway, I got to give a shout out to Queen.
Thank you so much. So he went down there to cover the story himself, and he was able to find the truth out. So please go check out his channel. He went down there behind. So we're not going to talk about Nicholas Shirley. I think he's a joke. He's a liar. Apparently, he went where? Did he go? Where he went to Mexico?
California. He went to California.
California?
He found fraud with hospice. Yeah.
No. I'm not talking about that. He went to Mexico apparently, and he freed some prisoners. He did something. Apparently, he was calling because I'm not supposed to listen to Candace Owens, but I listen to Candace Owens whenever she wants to get in the magazine derriere. Apparently, Nick Shirley went to Mexico or something and helped free some cartel situation. Apparently, he did all that, so he's a hero. So I don't even understand about Nick Shirley, but at the end of the day, I need somebody to explain to me why the president, your president of the United States, your president, he ain't mine.
I thought you live in New York. I thought you live in New York.
And I do live in New York. Your president of the United States allegedly have a deal with Iran that includes nothing.
Okay.
And when the gas, and since we had it, I'm going to give you our time
to
get my gas down. Because I think at the very least, what he could do by next week, I want the gas to go back to $3. Since we did all of that, he's ticking. Next week, I want the gas down at the very least, and the electricity. Since we had it.
How much was gas when Joe Biden left office?
Gas down here in New York was $3.03 to $3.90.
No. $5.47. I have the national average.
We're not talking about California. We're talking about New York.
We're talking about the national average. That's what it was when you left off.
I'm not worried about the national. I'm talking about New York. You asked me what New York. It was $3.09 to $3.19 when Joe Biden was president. I'm talking about New York.
I said when he left office, what was gas price?
When he left office, it was still around $3.59. Maybe, but I don't think it was that much higher. No, it was more. It was around.
It was a little bit over 450. It was a little bit over 450.
Not in New York.
I actually saved it. The national average, according to AAA, I'll pull it up for you. But anyway,
you can pull it up. I'm talking about New York. I said right now the gas is almost $5 in New York.
You ever heard CNN where they say keeping them honest? So I just had to throw that at you. That's
you
all.
asked me how much was gas. I said in New York. I don't care about the average. I'm talking about New York.
You don't care about the American people?
You asked me a question.
Shame on you.
Answered my question. In New York, it was $3.09 to $3.19 in New York. That's how much I went, and I was able to fill a gas.
Don't make me bring Grumpy. If you don't want me to bring Grumpy,
$60 to fill my tank. That's what
I'm gonna bring Grumpy up here if you keep on now. He's gonna set you.
I'm telling you the truth. You asked me a question. I'm answering honestly. I don't know nothing about the national whatever. I'm talking about.
It wasn't $3. It was not $3. I can tell you that right now.
It was $3.09 to $3.19, Mel. I know for a fact because I used to try. I go back and forth. I go back and forth from New York to New Jersey all the time to do casino slot channel.
We also had a debate about Luigi Mangione, and you told me he was such an adorable guy. Oh no! No!
You were wrong.
Are you kidding me?
I'm holding you accountable because you played me. You played me. You said that I knew that Luigi acted out in court. I wasn't in court when he acted out.
No.
So I'll be held accountable.
You gonna give me a minute? Can I have a minute?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
We were having this show just like this, right? And I asked you, we both were in court. I remember where you were sitting at, right over there, and I was in the corner, right?
Yep.
And I asked you, I said, did you notice that he looked a little bit crazy? You said, oh no, he's
No,
so beautiful. He's like Elvis. You said
I didn't
something like
say
that.
he's like Elvis. You see how you put words in my mouth? I did not say that. I
Bottom
said
line is you
that
didn't
he is an
agree.
attractive
Listen,
young
we have
man.
people, hold on. We have people in the audience that remember the conversation.
I didn't say he was like
You
Elvis.
made it seem like he was sharp.
No, I did
He
say
didn't
that.
have
I did
mental,
say that. I
all
didn't
of that,
see
right?
any mental
I said,
disability
hold
with him
on.
at all.
Can I get
Yes.
a word? I said they're gonna argue that he has psychiatric problems. I said it to you that night, and
Yes, you did.
you argued me down, so now you
No,
gotta
I
eat
didn't
your words.
argue. I didn't argue about the
Could you at
mental.
least say sorry? Could you at least say
I didn't.
sorry?
But before I have to restate what I said because we have to remember the conversation
Okay.
because you throw a
Okay.
lot at me. You
Here
did
we go.
say that you felt that he was either under some type of medication or he had mental issues. That's what you
No,
said.
I said straight up mental issues, no medication.
I said I disagree because I didn't see anything that indicated that he didn't look like he was under any medication or he mental health issues whatsoever. I said he surprisingly seemed like a normal guy. He gave no drama, no indication of any violence. If you would walk in, you wouldn't indicate anything. I said that when I walked into the Diddy trial, my skin crawled just looking at Diddy because he has that whole evil thing about him.
You
But when it
said
came
that.
to Luigi, I felt nothing except for why is this kid, this good-looking kid, and I did say good-looking kid because there was a lot of young people that was there, a lot of young ladies that's there to come and support him. I said, why is this good-looking kid sitting there? I said, if you would walk in and see this kid sitting there, you would be aware that he's a good-looking kid, but he just is he showed no sign of violence. That's what I said.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on.
I said, go ahead.
In court, I sat to the far wall,
Yes, you
right?
did.
You were sitting with the girls that really love Luigi, so I have to question.
Him.
I have to question you. Are you one of those Luigi fans?
No, I'm not a Luigi fan, sir. It's not that I'm
Okay.
a Luigi fan, but I have.
Well, you were sitting with him, and over there, you guys were talking to what?
No, not all the time. Not all the time. The first
Oh,
couple
okay.
times, but the other
Okay.
time I was on this side, right? But
All right.
I sit where they place me. Okay, so I have to sit where they place. The court officer's place will tell you where to sit. So
You're
I sit
right.
where
You're
they
right.
place me.
Okay.
Now, when I was sitting on the right hand side with because he was always on the left hand side with the ladies. When I looked at him, the fact is that I didn't see any anxiety from the court officers, right?
I did.
I didn't see. I didn't see it. I didn't see the anxiety. At first, they stood up, and then there was a couple of times where they didn't. They sat down. It didn't seem like they were worried about him, right? When he talked to his attorney, he wasn't excited. He wasn't like trying to check them like Diddy did. Diddy ran the whole trial. Like Diddy put words into his lawyer's mouth, right? He didn't do any of that. He just was looking. If they asked him a question, he'll answer it, and he allowed them to run the hearing. He didn't react when they when they called him a murderer. He didn't react to that, to my knowledge. You know how many times there was like, oh, the reason why is because he was an murderer, and it was like objection. He didn't react to that. If it was Diddy would have dragged him down the throat. You understand? There was no aggressive reaction for him. So I'm like, yo, he's just like a regular kid, in my opinion, that you walk in the court. Now, you did say he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yes, you did say that. And we disagreed in our views. At the end of the day,
but I told you why.
they say, yeah, you said something on his eyes and the way he was moving and stuff like
that.
Oh,
so now you're okay.
Of course, I didn't know what you said. I'm just saying I did not see that. So it's unfair for me to say that you holding me accountable when I didn't see what you saw.
Okay, so let's pause for 1 minute. I want to show you this here. Let's pause for 1 minute.
All right,
let's
see. There's a video. Okay, go ahead. You see, you like what I'm doing.
We have breaking news. The judge in the United Healthcare CEO murder case says the suspect will try a psychiatric defense. At today's hearing, the judge agreed to dismiss a criminal count related to possession of a large capacity magazine. The judge had already ruled the magazine can't be used as evidence because of an improper search. But now the judge says the suspect's attorneys.
Okay, so give the audience some background of what we learned in court from what you see in the photo.
I'm very happy about this. No, one of my biggest problems that I had with this case, again, we should say, the victim of Luigi. Can we remind me of the victim's name?
Brian Thompson.
Brian Thompson. May Brian Thompson rest in peace, and may Brian Thompson family get justice. As a survivor of pew pew violence, I will always side with the survivor. My problem with this case was the unlawful seizure of his bag, the unlawful search of the bag, right? I thought that.
Can I just say, I'm sorry for the audience. You can see the bag is highlighted right there.
Yes,
So if you could
yes.
just guide them through the photo, if you don't mind.
Yes. So they came in. So they received a call that there was someone that in the McDonald's that actually looked like the unaliver of Brian in New York, right? So two officers came. They looked at him. They approached him and they asked him who he was. He gave another name, and they gave him an ID. I mean, he gave them an ID. They went outside. A lieutenant came in. There's a bunch of them. Mel knows their names. I don't have my book to remember all their names. Lieutenant came in. They asked what's going on. They said,
Can you mention it was a fake ID? Can you just
yes,
mention that?
I'm about to get there. They asked, he asked what's going on. He said, there's this guy. He looked like he is the murderer in New York of the healthcare CEO. The lieutenant, I think it was lieutenant, had to look on the phone because he didn't even know what he looked like. He said, that kind of looked like him. Let me get his ID and I'm going to check his ID. So while he was checking his ID now, like a bunch of officers, it was like 10 officers came in. They decided they're going to have him stand up, check his body to make sure that if he has any weapons on him. They checked his bag. They did all of that prior to checking whether it was his ID, right? And prior to reading him his Miranda rights. So a lot of things happened in between where they checked and they saw that it was a false ID. They asked him for his name. He gave his real name. They checked him again. So they checked him like 3 times. And it was around the 4th time when they decided that they were going to arrest him or detain him, because initially they didn't detain him properly. They said that we're going to bring you in because of false ID. So according to our understanding in Philadelphia, you could arrest someone if they provide you with a false ID. The problem is that they already checked him 3 times. They checked his bag and everything prior to even reading the Miranda rights. So once the time they said that they're going to arrest him, that's when they read him the Miranda rights. At the time, that's when they found the magazine. They found the notes. All his notes, they found everything. And I think all of that, including the bag, should be thrown out. Because imagine, I mean, it's horrible if he is proven to be the person that unalive Brian. Yes, he should be brought to justice. But the fact of the matter is there are laws. There's a constitution. You can't go to somebody's bag and do all of this without reading him his Miranda rights. So I'm very happy. And I told Mel from the beginning, they should throw out the bag, right? They should throw out the bag. They should show all the evidence in the bag. There are other mechanisms in which they could use. They have the video. They have other mechanisms they could use in order to find out whether he's the guy, identify him, right? And prove whether he's guilty or innocent. But they can't use the bag. So I'm very happy that one of the courts agreed to drop the bag. I think the other court agrees to keep the bag, though. I don't know if it was the federal or the state, but
federal keeps the bag. State
so
dropped it.
Yeah, is going to keep the bag, but the state is going to drop the bag. So either way, the bag is going to be in.
But the gun is still on the table.
Well, if the pew pew should not be on the table because the pew pew was on him, was in the bag. Like everything in the bag should be dropped. Period. It should be brought. You cannot do a search of someone without reading them the Miranda right. You can't do that. And they lied about it. That's the thing that pissed me off. They lied about it because they were coming up with all kind of excuses of why they did it. And one of the reasons why they said, "Oh, we felt that that for the safety of our officers and the people at McDonald's at the residence that we need to search him prior to the Miranda right." And so everybody's looking at them. They standing back, right, Mel? All the officers is chilling, standing back, talking to each other, gossiping. You see customers and McDonald's workers going into the bathroom. So this is where he's at. He's sitting there at the table, right? The bathroom is between, is you see where the edge of the table, the bathroom is on the right-hand side. That's the door. So you have people walking past him the entire time going into the bathroom, the restrooms, and you guys chilling with this guy that's supposed to be a dangerous person. That's why you had to search him, right? Yeah, they closed the McDonald's. Y'all didn't tell everybody to leave. Y'all didn't show no fear, but yet you want to explain to us that the reason why you felt that you had to pat him down 3 or 4 times, and they didn't even pat him down one time. You could say, okay, Mama Flip, you're wrong. They wanted to check him. And once they checked him, they felt comfortable. They sat him down. They searched this man 3 times. And after searching him, you moved his bag out of his possession. Because now they're saying, oh, the reason why we searched his bag is because it was in his possession. No, it wasn't. You can't do that. Even if you had even if there's certain states that have rules that say you could check the person's body prior to reading them their rights, because some people say in a state of emergency and then you can search the body. You can't search the bag if you move the bag out of his possession because it's no longer part of his possession. It was crazy, and they tried to
Okay, so let me get in. So
go ahead now.
They moved the bag, they put it on the table there, and the way they were able to get around it, they said, "Oh, we think it may have something. It may have a bomb in it, right?"
Okay.
So what is your argument as to them looking? You remember the female officer, the only one that was there? She came in and said, "Oh, I have to search it for those reasons."
The female officer lied to her face. We all know if there was a credible evidence that there were a explosive device in the bag, they would have emptied out the McDonald's, right? They would have escorted him out, and they would have called the experts to come in with the robot and everything and search it. It was full of crap. And the fact is that most of these officers wasn't supposed to be there anyway. You had a canine officer who came to McDonald's. Why is a canine officer, and the canine officer didn't even bring the canine in to sniff the bag? The canine stayed outside. They felt it was like a movie, like a moment for them to turn out to be heroes over there. And it was the most asinine, ridiculous arrest that I ever heard. Now, obviously, if they meant to do their job properly, they could have done their job properly. They could have done their job properly, but they wanted a photo op. They could have came in, asked for his ID. As soon as they took his ID, they could have read him his Miranda rights immediately, right? And detained him. They tried to explain, oh, there's a difference between detain and arrest. I'm like, oh, we were just detaining, just holding him, just chilling. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't need to read his Miranda right just because we detain him. What? It was the most craziest case I ever heard in my life. I'm like, this is ridiculous. They full of crap. They lied. I think it was only one. And the thing that made me crazy is that each of them said, they asked him, did you, only one officer said he didn't know it. Each of them, they asked him, did you know it was him? Yes. How did you know? We saw it on Fox News. Each of them.
Thank you, Tammy.
Said, we saw him on Fox News. I'm like, oh, hell nah. All of them. I think one person said Fox News and CNN, but every one of them saw him on Fox News. I'm like, yo, so we got.
Let me get in. Let me get in. Show that I'm in court and I keep good mental notes. I don't even need my notes tonight. So the actual the captain, right?
Okay.
Once it became obvious that all of these officers came in because they were asking him, have you seen this photo of Luigi before? And they say, yeah. Did you see it on a bulletin board? No, I saw it on Fox News. And so after all of them were saying that, the captain came in and says, oh, yeah, I saw it on CNN. So he tried to change it up because he was the last one to go.
Because it's like the Keystone the cops, like they were all like the Keystone cops, like back in the days, those silly cops that twirls. That's how they were. They all sound insane to me. And then they tried to say that they were the Pennsylvania code in which their arrest is different from any other state. So they were trying to explain that, well, you know, even though, and then they're lawyers. This is the most insane. The prosecutor was, every time he questioned him, he said, so where did you get trained? Pennsylvania. Where were you an officer in Pennsylvania? To push the point that the reason why they did things backwards It's because in Pennsylvania, you're allowed to detain a perpetrator. You're allowed to search them in Pennsylvania without reading them the Miranda rights. So that's what they were trying to push. And it turned out to be a complete lie because the state was like, that's ridiculous. You can't do that.
Okay, can I?
Federal, they're still fighting that point. So that's what happened.
Let's speak on it really quick. How the officers were lying to Luigi Mangione,
Yes.
and it came out that the officers can lie or use a ruse, and they learned it actually when they went. The second officer and the arresting officer, he was only an officer for like a year, and he said that when they sent him to Indiana a year prior, he learned that you can actually lie to civilians just to get the truth out of them. Can you speak on that, please?
He said, I believe that you're talking about the fact that he said that, okay, if you don't tell us if you tell us who you really are, you're not going to get in trouble. But if you don't tell us, then we're going to arrest you. Is that part that you're talking about, or is something else?
Yeah, there were a series of lies. Like,
yes, but that was
yeah.
the most important one that I remember. Like, oh, you're not going to get in trouble if you tell us the truth. If you tell us who you are, you're not going to get in trouble. But if you don't, we're going to arrest you. And da da da. It's like, yo, even in that statement, even have that lengthy conversation, read them the Miranda rights. They could have saved all of this. The Miranda rights is like literally like a minute or two. Just read it. All of them could have read them, and not one of them. Until they turn him around right there. And he was there for what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, definitely.
20 minutes? Y'all didn't read the Miranda right until you made him get up and put handcuffs on it? That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
So let's get back to the video a little bit. Let's see.
Yes, please.
He'll try to show he was suffering from extreme emotional disturbance. ABC legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer is here for more on that. So, Brian, what does this mean for the trial?
I think before we even get there, the big thing is that this defense kind of gives us an understanding as to why the previous appearances were so secretive.
Shout out to Brian. I saw Brian the other day at the donut shop. We are not that far from each other. I see him all the time, pretty much.
Must have been some sort of arguments about HIPAA. But to answer your question directly, what it means for the defense is, and as the judges said, the defense has to turn over all psychiatric information to the prosecution. They're going to have the ability to rebut that he had an extreme emotional disturbance at this time. It could, in a worst case scenario, delay the trial because the process.
So, guys, here's Mark Agnifilo sitting to the far right. You like Mark, right?
Nope.
You don't like him? Okay. So he's one of Luigi Mangione's attorneys. His wife is the lead attorney, but he was Sean Diddy Combs' lead attorney. This is him, Mark Agnifilo, probably one of the best attorneys that I've seen, along with Brian Steele.
He's not one of the best. He's a snake. He's disrespectful of women. I mean, I can tell you one thing. I think I will fix this. He's great for criminals. He's great for criminals. Mark Agnifilo is great for criminals. If you have a case, an SA case, and you need a lawyer with very little scruples who's going to defend you and make women feel like they are sluts, then please get him, because he can make it. I call him the O.J. Simpson lawyer. Thank God that he lost the Alexander Brothers case. He couldn't get them out of that, even though he tried to. He tried very hard to explain to us in the courthouse how the Alexander Brothers wrote in the book that they took down a under 18-year-old, and it was just their lifestyle, and that the girls should have known that when they got invited to a party, that they were giving all rights to say no. That's Mark. So let's congratulate Mark on winning Diddy case, but he couldn't get away with the Alexander Brothers. All right? So I'm just letting y'all guys know that part. So I don't like him myself. Go ahead,
Okay. All right. Very good. Now, I also sat through Trump's trial where Todd Blanche was his attorney. I felt like Todd Blanche was a great attorney, too.
Todd Blanche is a joke also. The only thing that I would give Todd Blanche even a little bit of credit, and I don't give them no credit, is the fact that he is not willing to go and move forward with the $1.6 billion so that they could give the January Sixers who broke the Constitution and tried to unalive the VP of the United States, right, on January 6th. He's not willing to approve or pay these people a red hot dime at this time. So he told everybody, nope, we're not moving forward with that. We're not going to pay them. Right. So I appreciate that. Other than that, Todd Blanche is a joke. Like, he's a mouthpiece for Trump. Like, he knows exactly what Trump is doing and he doesn't care. Right. He's the worst kind. And I think a lot of these lawyers, he's gonna have to need a pardon. Donald Trump is gonna have to pardon him. Just like he pardoned everybody else that he left, he's gonna have to pardon the whole crew because he's gonna lose his license. Todd Blanche is not gonna be, he's not gonna be a lawyer after Donald Trump is done and gone and go bye-bye. He just broke too many rules and laws. So yeah, I think he's a joke.
Okay, let's finish this out.
Okay.
And say, hey, we need our own expert to evaluate this defense and see whether or not we can make arguments against it. If it doesn't delay the trial, it's going to add a whole other argument here that's going to be at the time in which Mangione committed the crime. This is what the defense is going to argue. He had an extreme emotional disturbance. He acted upon that extreme emotional disturbance, and it was objective considering who he is in the circumstances that he was. And if that happens, it actually reduces the penalties that Mangione faces. He could still possibly go to jail or prison, but that's how it changes his case.
So you add an option for reasonable doubt by saying, even if you think he did this, you can think he did this for this reason?
Yes and no. Think of it almost like self-defense, right? With self-defense, you're not saying the person didn't punch the person. You're saying, no. The person did punch the person, but here's a legal reason as to why the charges should be different. With extreme emotional disturbance when it comes to a homicide, you're saying, no, he did hurt this person. He did kill this person, but at the time he did it, his mental state was different than a person who is...
So guys, this was about 6:35 a.m. in the morning, 6:34. I think it was on a Thursday, and he just was walking, Brian Thompson, enjoying life, and all of a sudden this individual behind him shoots him right in his back, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, TikTok.
Okay, sorry. I'll try to use appropriate words for TikTok. Okay. I'll remember that. I'll say something lighter. Okay.
Alive, thank you.
Okay.
Like you or I, right? And because of that, it's not murder, it's manslaughter. And for Luigi Mangione, that's a difference of life in prison without the possibility of parole down to what's called a B felony in the state of New York with a minimum of 5 years to 25. So you're greatly reducing his prison sentence if you win that argument.
So how does this change the strategy for the prosecution?
For the prosecution, they're going to say, we still have to do our job. We still have to prove that he planned this, he did this. And I think the planning is what's really going to be a bigger part of this case now, because they're going to say, you can't have extreme emotional disturbance if you plan this out in a different part of the state. You traveled all the way to New York.
So in this case, they actually used the real evidence. The case I just covered down in Dallas with Carmelo Anthony, they did not bring in the actual knife. They brought in a replica or the multi-purpose tool. So the defense called it a multi-purpose tool. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to call it. Typically, they would bring it in the bag, right? Mm-hmm. Like a clear bag. So in this case, they brought in the actual items that Luigi Mangione. They passed it around to the jurors. So I found it to be quite intriguing for Carmelo Anthony. It was quite different.
I think it's because, as I think Calvin said, our attorney Calvin said that the actual weapon that Carmelo Anthony allegedly used, and we're going to say alleged, it actually had what is called actually had the whatchamacallit in it, right? They actually had substance in it, and then he didn't want it to look, the bag was moist and stuff like that. So he didn't think it was a great idea. So that's why they didn't use it. Whereas with the pew, you don't have that same problem, right?
Okay. I want to answer Sam really quick. Sam, the other day I did lunch news at noon, and I talked about the guys out covering Nancy Guthrie and how Alex was arrested, and also the Juice was arrested in 8857 Tucson. So tomorrow night I'll do a show strictly on that along with Nancy Guthrie. So stay tuned for that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'll put that together for you. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it.
Oh, wow. The
York City.
First Amendment is messed up here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You have all these writings in your books. You have all of this planning and preparation. You're not extremely emotionally disturbed. You knew what you're doing. Now, was this a disturbing thing to do? That you have an issue with the healthcare system and then you decide to go kill?
What's happening here? Can you explain?
That's actually them taking the actual driver's license, and that's the fake license. It had a different name on it, and they wanted to check Jersey to see if that license is actually credible, and they found out it wasn't.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Someone, yes, but it doesn't fit the.
This is the door. You want to talk about the door here? That all the police officers were coming in and out and how they all came in and filled up this area?
This is ridiculous. It was like 10 to 12 officers?
13 officers.
13 officers just walked in blase, laxy daisy, like they coming to do a movie. It was the most ridiculous. Look how close the door is to the table that he was sitting at. It was McDonald's. If they felt that there were a danger, right? If they felt it was a danger, like, look at it. There's the bathroom right there, guys. There's a bathroom. There's a restroom. And he's sitting at the table on the left. If it was a danger, they would have shut it down. They would have shut it down. They all came lazing around. You said they were all leaning against different directions. They all folding, talking, legs crossed, laxy daisy. It's like they wanted to be part of a movie. They wanted to be part of history. That's what happened. It was ridiculous to me. And all that time you did all that because officers could do, I don't want to say officers could do whatever they want, but officers are there to do their job. But if you're there to do your job, then guess what your job entails? Reading a suspect the Miranda rights before you charge them.
Well, they were hedging on reading him.
John needs some help. I think John Patrick needs some help right there. Because John is trying so hard. If you're so concerned about 61 million babies, do you care about the fact that police are unaliving unarmed Black people? Do you care about the attacks that's being done on immigrants and migrants? Do you care about your people unalived an innocent woman in her car? Or they unalived Alex because he was trying to protect another woman? So instead of giving us questions, why don't you go look within yourself and answer those questions? Anyway, go ahead, as you were saying.
Okay.
John P. needs some help. He's having a mental breakdown. Go ahead. Mel, I'm sorry.
No, I lost my thought. It's okay.
I am so sorry. John P. is having a hard day with Democrats. Poor Tito. Let me tell you something about John P. Don't waste your time on me. I don't care about you or your thoughts on Democrats. And I'm going to make it perfectly clear about something that a lot of you guys don't know. So let me help you guys out because apparently y'all didn't see the first show. Let me tell you, we Black women are on a break. All right. I'm sorry, Mel. Let me talk to John for a second. We on a break. Y'all voted for this guy. Me, myself, I want him to accomplish every single thing y'all voted him for. Because in my opinion, America is not going to learn until Donald Trump drag us to the gutter of hell. Right? So I want him to accomplish everything y'all voted for. In the meantime, I'm on a break. I'm living my best life in this nonsense of a world. I thank Mel for including me and watching the world, but other than watching the world and talking to y'all, I'm living my best life. I'm trying to pay the bills. I'm doing my casino slot channel. Unless you guys come for us talking mad crap about us, we don't care. Y'all voted for him. Now, don't get me wrong. We care about the suffering of others, but when we say we don't care, we're saying to you that we're on a break. So all that bullshit you coming to me, I don't know why you're coming to Democrats, because the rest of us, we giving y'all congratulations. Y'all got the presidency. You guys have the House and the Senate, and you got the freaking Supreme Court. So I don't know why you come and talking to us. This is your world. You should be partying. Don't worry about the kids. Don't worry about the poverty. Because people are struggling now under your president. We can't even buy the Thanksgiving lunch. We can't do nothing right now. Everything is high. The other day, if you know where I work, right? I just got an email from a vendor telling me that they had to pay embargo. Is that what it's called?
Embargo, yes.
Embargo fee. I just got the email. What's it? Today's Thursday. Yesterday. For something that we ordered. I've been doing my job for 34 years. I've never got sent email for one item that they can't deliver because they have to pay. They have to add the embargo. And guess who they want to pay the fee? They're not paying it. They want us to know that we need to pay this fee because they're going to add it in order for us to get the product. 34 years doing my job, I never got such an email. That's what we're dealing with, sir. That's evidence. That's everyday shit. So don't come to me about your illusion about what Democrats did, because Democrats are not in control. Y'all guys won. Let's clap for y'all. Congratulations. Y'all did that shit. Y'all running the world, so don't worry about everything else about the Democrats. Worry about what the GOP is doing. Worry about what Donald Trump is doing. Leave us alone. We mind our business, and we're living our best lives. Thank you for your comment, and thank you for being here. I'm sorry, Mel.
Grumpy says, show me in which article of the Constitution did the January 6th peaceful protester violate?
Oh, Lord. You're a joke. I'm not even going to have the energy. Would you like me to bring up? We could. You don't want me to bring up you don't want me to bring up the film where they almost unalived this poor young officer by squeezing his head in, and through the revolving door. We don't want to show that, right? We want to show the fact that one of them brought a noose outside and they were calling Pence, right? We don't want to talk about the fact that they actually spread feces. Well, you guys don't understand, and I'm going to make it completely clear that I am not just a regular black mom in New York, which I'm proud of. I'm a black mom of a celebrity, and I'm a grandma of 7 beautiful, intelligent, highly intelligent A students. I'm very proud of that, but I'm not that. I'm politically connected, which means after the January 6th bullshit, I actually went to the Capitol a few weeks after that. They had that whole section blocked because they had to clean that entire area because of y'all nonsense and bullshit. All right? They had the whole area. That whole area was blocked off. We couldn't get in there. Because with my organization, Moms to Man Action, we have what is called Advocacy Day. And we couldn't get in there. So don't come and tell me shit about nothing. I was there after the fact. So please spare me the bullshit about it's being a peaceful. Please spare me, because I was actually there. And this is the thing that I don't like about y'all. Carry your asses to the Capitol after the event, and then you tell me whether it was peaceful. Stop playing with me. I'm sorry, Mel. They're just getting me crazy.
But he said, what article did they break?
What article of the Constitution did they break? The article that deals with peaceful transfer of power.
Grumpy. You hear that, Grumpy?
There's an article, I could look it up, which article, but we all know, according to the Constitution, there's supposed to be a peaceful transfer of power. It's happened for years. You think, let me tell y'all something. Let me give you a break. When Donald Trump won in 2016, there was such a thing called a Million Woman March. I was there. I could show you the pictures. I have so much receipts. Ask Mel. All Mel has to do, Marie, start pulling shit up. I have receipts. I have video. It was 1 million of us there. We women and also our supporters, we covered Washington, D.C. from one end of Washington, D.C. to the others. Cars couldn't move. People could move. Donald Trump, I don't think Donald Trump was in the White House. He had to get his ass out of there. We could have, as women in 2016, dragged that motherfucker out of the White House. We could have. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. We could have dragged him out. That's how many women was there. We could have destroyed everything. You think that little bit of 10,000 freaking January 6th was anything for the 1 million women march? We were there. I was there. I was one of them. I was proud to be there. We marched peacefully. We went through Washington, D.C. We didn't go into the Capitol. We didn't go into the White House. We respected the rules, and we carried our asses home. And this MF had 4 years. He had 4 years. You didn't see us try to unalive him or try to take him down in those between 2016 and 2020, especially when he unalived 1 million of us due to COVID incompetency. We didn't do that. We allowed the man to rule because y'all voted for the MF. So now you're trying to tell me now that what y'all guys did on January 6th when y'all tried to unalive your own VP is supposed to be in comparison, and I'm supposed to pay attention. What happened to that? For many years, we all upheld a code of ethics, a code of respect, even when we didn't like. I didn't like Bush. I blame Bush for the unaliving of my nephew. Because if we didn't go to war, my nephew would still be alive today. But did you see me try to go after Bush? Give me a break. You guys don't think rationally. A lot of us live this life in real. We actually live this life. We don't live in the delusion world that y'all living in. I actually live this life. So y'all carry on. Sorry, Mel, as you were saying.
Okay, all right, very good. So now we're going to switch up a little bit. We're going to cover a new case.
Yes.
Her name is Ilana Moore. She went missing a couple of days ago, so I want to break down the points in case I have to travel to South Carolina
because they're trying to
check out the case.
Similar to Nancy Godfrey, because I thought that because I looked up the case last week before we got into the whole Carmela Anthony revisited. They said that they're looking for a handy man or woman that they felt did work at the house. And then they mentioned that there was another missing person, and I couldn't understand why they actually connected that case, because it was an article that was talking about Nancy, and then they put this case and they said it's not really connected. So I didn't understand why. Maybe it's because 2 women was missing. But yeah, I would love to hear about the case because I don't know anything about it.
Okay, let's get to it, guys. This is a new missing persons, and unfortunately, they found a body. But we're gonna break it down one by one. We're gonna go back to the day she went missing. All right, let's get to it.
Please.
I'm on standby because I'm a part of a team that we travel out to for true crime. So if the rest of the gang or guys show up, I say gang lightly. The rest of the fellas show up, then I'll pull up too. All right, let's get to it.
And we're also following some more breaking news updates. We now know Lexington police have just released new information in the search for 39-year-old Elena Moore.
Investigators say they recently obtained surveillance video showing the Moore in the Publix parking lot off of Old Cherokee Road last Thursday.
Police say the video shows Moore walking through the parking lot at about 9:17 p.m. and then heading towards Old Cherokee Road. Take a look here at the screen here. Investigators say she was wearing the same clothing she was last seen wearing earlier that evening. This is the latest known sighting of Moore as police continue to follow any leads in this case.
News 19's Kiki Gushu is outside the Lexington Police Department with an update on the search tonight.
Lexington police tells News 19 detectives are following up on new leads tonight. The police saying that there are no planned searches right now unless information leads them to a new area. Investigators say Moore checked into Planet Fitness on June 11th and was later seen walking toward a wooded area behind the gym and nearby Lowe's store. After a multi-agency search of that area came up empty, detectives are now looking for more information to help track her movements. Private investigator Chandra Cleveland, who has no connection to the case, says surveillance video from people who live or work near the area could be key.
Now that they know that it was...
That's strange that she just walked behind the Home Depot, I believe, right, or Lowe's, whichever one they said, and then she vanished, right?
Yes, it's actually really strange. Especially, do they have? They don't have cameras where she went because mostly in those areas you have
I
cameras.
think they said she went into the wooded area. You'll hear that at one point.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Within the Whiteford Way and the Kaufman Farm area, they can have people who live within those areas to check their cameras on those dates of June the 11th around 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Cleveland says home security cameras and apartment surveillance video could help show where Moore went after leaving the gym. Moore's husband found her car in the Lowe's parking lot on Friday. Investigators say there were no signs of foul play. Police say that it is not clear whether Moore has her cell phone or not. In Lexington, Kiki Gashu, News 19, WLTX.
So she didn't have a car. She left it at Lowe's. Okay.
And it's similar to that other woman that was taken in front of her house. That was similar to Nancy. It's like all these people are just disappearing. I mean, with Nancy, somebody carried her out, but we don't know how the other lady disappeared and not this one. It's possible in her case that if she went into the woods, then that means that she was. I would think that she was trying to help somebody, right? Somebody may have helped, or she may have heard something. This is why you don't go. And if somebody's calling for help or stuff like that, you don't go directly there. People, have some common sense because you never know what's going on. So it looked like she may have been trying to go help somebody. Somebody may have called out to her somehow, some way. What is that guy that unalived all these women? He had it in a sling.
Ted Bundy.
No, I thought, is it Ted Bundy? Why did I think it was a D? Yeah, Ted Bundy is the one that had the sling, where he unalived all these women, and he said that he needed help. Was it Ted
Right.
Bundy? So
Yeah, he would ask the women to help put things into his van,
and
and
then
then he would grab them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it looked like that's possibly the type of person, unless God forbid the family, because they always think that it's somebody that's closest to them that did it first anyway. So if it's not a family member, it looked like the circumstances where she felt that she was going to help somebody and they just took her, unfortunately.
Some are talking about her mental state. Let's get to it. Let's check it out.
Oh, okay.
This is right before she went missing. Notice the clothes she's wearing.
I see, but who's in the back or who's behind her?
Look like somebody trying to take a picture that's delivering something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
So I don't know if she's delivering something to this guy too, and she's reading the label, but this guy is the one that testifies that she seemed to be irrational.
Okay, so why did the person take a picture? I figured that the person took a picture because they were delivering the food.
Well, they could have delivered something else and asked her to step back because sometimes they leave your package, they take a picture. I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at this fresh, but I'm just using my own discernment.
So that wasn't her package. That wasn't her food then.
She's gonna hand the guy this slip, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe she picked up the bag that the lady dropped off. Maybe the lady dropped the food, but she's just grabbing it for him. Check it out. Watch this.
Okay. She could also be a thief. God rest her soul. Sorry. Was she trying to get in?
So that's why he said that she seems to be a little bit. This is her last video. Well, not the last one. You see her, I believe, at Lowe's walk out the frame, but this is the last time you actually hear her, I believe, on video. All right. So now We're going to go to the press conference of they found an individual. So let's check it out.
Okay.
Just let me know when y'all ready. All right, good afternoon. I'm Chief Green with the Lexington Police Department. I'm along here with Lexington County Sheriff Jay Kuhn, and we just want to brief y'all on the happenings of the day. So today, the Lexington Police Department, we received a tip that our missing person, Ilana Moore, was seen in the area on June 11, 2026, between 4 and 6 p.m. Today, law enforcement and fire personnel began searching the area around 1:30 p.m. At approximately 2:48 p.m., we found an identified body that fits the clothing description of our missing person. We are still waiting on the coroner to identify her. We have asked the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division to investigate this death investigation. We want to thank the Lexington County Sheriff's Department, Lexington County Fire, Lexington County EMS, Lexington County Dispatch, South Carolina Probation Parole, South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, South Carolina Highway Patrol, and the Lexington County Coroner's Office, along with SLED, who will be investigating this case. Again, this is an active investigation. We also want to thank you guys, the media. You guys put this case out there, and that's how we received this tip in order to find this unidentified body. Thank you.
Okay, what do you think about this?
That's the only thing? Did they answer any questions that the reporters asked? Is that there was anything that they found on her? Was there any updates as far as the autopsy? Was there any foul play? Did they answer any question, or that was all they did?
No, we're going to go through the questions, but I wanted to see what your thoughts so far.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything except for the fact that they, in regards to her being at the front door, I felt, that I don't want to disparage her. It could have been that she was a little lost, or she could have actually was thinking of taking the food, and she was just waiting to see if the guy was going to come out, and then she was going to walk away with the food.
No.
It has been known, neighbors has been known to take other people's food, and I think the reason why she was looking at the receipt to see if she wants the food or not. That's just my opinion. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
get
my
it.
opinion. I could be completely wrong and stuff like that. And I think that unless they say that she unalived herself, then it's possible that she was either trying to help somebody, or the person that she knows pulled her into the woods, and unfortunately something tragic happened to her. Did they find her in the same wood behind the Home Depot or Lowe's or another location?
Another location. We're going to hear about it now. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Due to it being an active investigation, we cannot talk about the death investigation as SLED, and I want to trample on their investigation. Okay? Any other questions before that?
Was her vehicle found separately?
Oh, her vehicle was never found. The vehicle was always with the husband. All right.
Vehicles were always with the husband.
So how did she get to the Lowe's?
Well,
She took a cab? Did she take an Uber?
No, earlier, remember they said that the car was left in the Lowe's parking lot. So I guess he discovered it there and had possession of it or control of it. Okay.
Well, he should have said that. He should have just fully explained that. But okay, go ahead.
Any foul play suspected?
Again, it's an active investigation, and we are having SLED investigate that.
They're not answering any questions.
How she got to the CVS in the first place if she didn't have a card?
No, we don't have that information.
So just to be clear, that she had the same green outfit on that was.
It's the similar information we saw that we put out, similar clothing description.
And around what time did you find the body?
Around approximately 2:48 p.m. today, we instructed of a tip in the North Lake, Old Cherokee area. That's where we received the tip that she.
Okay, you hear that? That's
So
the.
somebody found her. So it was a tip. Okay, that's how they were able to find her. Okay.
Was in the area on June 11th.
So she went missing June 10th. They
Thank
found
y'all so much.
11th. That was rather quick. He didn't
Yeah.
answer any questions. He didn't answer any questions. An open case, so he doesn't. I mean, what can we take from that? We just have to wait and see where the investigation take us, right?
Right.
Yeah, he
Yes.
didn't answer any questions. He's not giving us anything in regards to foul play. He's not giving us anything in regards to where the investigation leading them. Do they have any suspect? He's not giving none of that. So it's pretty much. I mean, nothing to say. You know, may she rest in peace and may she get justice if she was taken up. Because I don't understand. They didn't talk about any weapons being at the location. They're not giving us anything for us to make any definitive conclusion. All they do is just show the video of the last time they saw her, and then they said that she was at that parking lot. That's it.
Okay, we have a message here from Gold Digger. Says her husband asked an investigator to help with his wife's disappearance. The investigator is a friend of the family and a prior 30-year law enforcement experience. Okay, so there's a little background on it. Okay.
Well, that's nice, but we've seen husbands, and no disrespect to the husband, please, I don't want to put any allegation, but we also have to be fair and understand that we've seen husband and wives cry on TV, and fathers and mothers cry on TV when they had a direct impact on the unalivement and disappearing of their loved ones. So, you know, we have to be very careful with that. We need to find out more of what happened to her before we make any type of decision.
Okay. All right. So for the sake of time, I want to move right to our last discussion. It's going to be about our president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Okay. So I'm going to add this.
Over that. I thought we were good.
Deal permanently prevents Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, but the
No, there's just a few details here that ties into what you said previously.
All right, let's go back to him.
the drafts of the deal that have been floating around barely mention Iran's nuclear program. So can you explain how exactly the deal achieves that goal?
So when I say permanently, it should be permanently. But if it's not permanently, we will bomb them. They will be bombed, just like I bombed them on Wednesday night and Tuesday night, and was going to bomb them on Thursday night at a level that was 3 times greater, and they knew that.
Don't you see that the president is using strength? Why are you laughing for?
The man sound like a fool. Lord have mercy. Oh my God! If this wasn't so tragic, I would laugh myself sick. This man sound like a fool. Have we ever heard any, even a Republican or Democratic president, have we ever heard someone sound that insane in the White House? And he's with the G7 along with our other allies, and they hearing this fool talk about mass destructive type of weapon. Like, it's crazy to me. It's just wow. That's your guy. Y'all vote for him. That's crazy. Go ahead, continue playing. Go ahead, continue playing.
I will bomb them. Now, that's with me as president. If you have a weak, pathetic president, maybe that doesn't happen, but I can only do the job that I have to do. I have a long time to go. I have almost 3 years, close to 3 years. Time is going fast. But our country's become we're the most respected country in the world. Those leaders today, they said, we used to laugh at you. 2 years ago, the same guys, they'd laugh at the country.
Why would you say that's a lie?
He's a joke. They're laughing at him. They don't even want to stand next to his booty smelling, poop smelling behind. Every single photo that you see, the G7, every single president, even the Republican president, you see how they enjoy their conversation with each other. You see how they stand next to each other, take pictures. You see how they connect and they have dinners and stuff like that. This man is a freaking joke. They're laughing at him. They're laughing. They talk about him behind his back, in front of his face. Their newspaper laugh at him. Their people laugh at him. He's a total joke. And even if he wasn't, I think he personally total joke. They mention it. But you can see, all you have to do is go and watch different G7 summits and see how these various leaders treat former presidents. It's very simple. And vice president, all you have to do is go use your eyes and just look. Let's go look at the pictures. You see how they shake hands and they smile and they get along. What are we talking about here? The man is acting like a freaking doob. And also the fact is that you called the former President Barack Obama. You said he was going to be a coward if he goes to war with Iran, and you went to war with Iran because you're a coward. What are we talking about? It's ridiculous. Carry on.
Have you noticed that the crime is down because of the National Guard being in New York City and some of these other inner cities?
Really? Now, I had the most amazing time. Most amazing time when I tell you at the celebration. Today and Saturday when the Knicks won the championship. And you know what Fox spent their time doing?
What was that?
They
Talk to us.
reported the fact that there was multiple poking and one pew-pew incident at the celebration. So I say this to say, where was the National Guards if that's the case? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say that New York was violent during the Knick champion celebration and then in the next word say, oh, we sent the National Guard, so there's no violence in New York. Like, you can't have it both ways. It's either or. Is the National Guard stopping the crime or not? And all I see the National Guard do is standing at the train station with their back against the wall. What, to stop fare people from jumping the turnstile? It's ridiculous to me. I don't see them outside patrolling. They're not in Bed-Stuy. They're not in East New York. They're not in areas which is predominantly pew-pew violence. They're not in the Bronx. They're not in Crown Heights. What are we doing? Like, it's ridiculous. It's a joke. I don't even know why we spend time on this guy. Just let the guy run and do what he needs to do in the next 2 years and how many months, and leave the rest of us alone. Just leave us alone. Let us live, boy. I don't even listen to him. The only time I listen to him talk is when you play him on the show. I don't even waste my time and energy to listen to him. His voice give me the heebie-jeebies. I can't stand listen to his voice. Even his tone makes me crazy. Like, it's like one of those noise when you scratch a board and scratch and how annoying. That's how annoying he is to me. But go ahead.
All right.
Now they say you're the most respected country anywhere in the world. Militarily.
Can you at least admit that we're the most respected country anywhere in the world?
We are laughing stock. He napped a president of Venezuela. He is a joke. Nobody's paying attention to him. Did he fix the war between Russia and Ukraine yet? Did they have a peace deal yet? Did he fix that? I thought the Russian president was his friend. Putin is his friend. Why didn't he listen to him? Why didn't he listen to him? Tell him stop the war. Did that alleviate yet? Are we at peace?
No, it's still happening.
Oh God.
Okay, let's keep going here.
Even military. Take a look at what happened in look at what happened in so many different locations. Afghanistan, that horrible retreat that these people made, leaving equipment behind. They weren't under any pressure. You take your time.
He said that was Joe Biden, right?
You're a freaking liar, snake and lying son of a bitch. Like, let me tell you something. He's the one that actually set up the deal that had the deadline where everybody had to be removed from Iraq and Afghanistan. He's the one that set the deadline. And former President Biden did not extend it. He met his deadline that he set before he left office. So he's a liar and a snake. And why ain't we talking about the poor soldiers that were unalive as a result of this asinine war in which we got nothing from in Iran. And why don't we talk about the 150 beautiful young children that was unalive as a result of his and his military incompetence, sending a explosive device on the school? Why don't we talk about that? Why he's leaving that out? And while we had it, where the hell are the videos of all the fishermen and the rugs that's supposed to be in the ocean with all the ships that he exploded in the waters? Where's the videos? Where's the evidence of the rugs? And while we at it, where's the Epstein files?
Oh my.
Continue, carry on.
Okay, you're looking for the Epstein files, huh?
Yes, I'm still looking for the full one. Yes.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
His name all over it and what he did.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get back to it.
You can get out. I was going to get out. We were going to get out with dignity and pride, take 100% of the equipment. I was even taking the tents down. But then they got in and they just left. They left all the equipment. I may get all that equipment back. Now, here's the thing. More symbolic, because it's a little old now. But we may get it all back.
You know that
Afghanistan is kissing our ass. You know that?
You know he
bomb Iran if.
All right, go ahead.
You know he was the one that was supposed to do the. You know he was the one that's. There was the date was the latest date for them to get out of Iran and Afghanistan. You know he could have got the troops out at any time during his presidency between 2016 and 2020, right? Prior to the COVID. He could have just snapped his fingers and got everybody home with the tents and the equipment and everything. But he did not. He didn't do it because he didn't want to do it.
So it wasn't Joe Biden, it was President Trump's deal.
He's the one that signed the deal, and you can look it up for yourself. His name in it, I actually found the article, the actual order that he signed to get them out. He's the one that did it. And he could have got the same day that he signed the order is the same within the same few weeks, a few days, he could have got all the troops out at the same time. But he didn't do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Let's get back to it.
They don't comply, but there's nothing enforceable in the deal itself. Is that correct?
Doesn't have to be. I let him know. I said, look, if you don't adhere to the agreement, I don't want to do that, but we're going to bomb the hell out of you. And I don't.
Doesn't that show strength?
The reason why they signed the alleged deal, and I think even J.D. Vance, I heard J.D. Vance said it was like a 60 days, something or the other. I didn't pay attention, but apparently it's on social media that J.D. Vance said 60 days starts today. So apparently it's a 60-day deal or something to that effect. The reason why they signed it is not because they feared for this clown threats. It's because he's about to give them $1 billion worth of sanction, and they want that money. That's why. Because if it wasn't for the sanctions and his deal, if they feared so much about him, then they would have ended the aggression when the 150 young children was unalived. They only decided to go on this deal because of the sanctions. So he really seriously think that these people care about him, worried about him pew-pewing explosives down on their heads after he unalived 150 of their children? Is he he's joking right now?
Okay. Guys, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. We need one more person to hit 70,000. Thank you.
I don't think that they're going to veer from the agreement. What else am I going to do? Am I going to say I'm going to take you to court? Let me take you to court. Let me sue you.
No. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are we there in court with the Venezuelan president? Hold on. Why don't you kidnap somebody? Why don't you kidnap one of their leaders? You just did that. You said, what are we going to take them to court? Yes. Go pick them up like you pick up the Venezuelan president bring him to the United States and go to court. It's the irony of his idiocracy that he's talking about something that he already did. The hell is wrong with you, boy? It's ridiculous. Mel, what do you think?
Interesting.
What's your thought, Mel? What's your thought?
Well, when it comes to Maduro, I can just tell you what happened in court, basically. But according to the United States government, he was not the true president of Venezuela. But when he did come to court, I was sitting right behind him. He said that on Saturday night, I guess they were in the living room. I think the wife was in the bedroom. And the United States came in, and he says, I was kidnapped out of my home.
Yes, he was.
And he said he was the president of Venezuela.
He was.
And, he kept trying to convey. I think he spoke 3 times in his first court hearing, from what I remember. And then the second time, he didn't speak much at all. Yep. But he was trying to convey the point that he was kidnapped from his home in Venezuela. He was the president. He says, now the Venezuelan people are without a leader. So that's all I can tell you what I saw in court.
He said that there was a sovereignty where it's agreed across the world that you cannot attack a active leader, active president in any country. And Donald Trump, it was basically understood with the United Nations. Everyone understood that, and Donald Trump just ruined it. The fact of the matter is, even the vice president who took over the presidency called him the president of Venezuela. Whether you want to say that he got it illegally or not, that's for the Venezuelan people to agree on and fight on. He was named president. Now, I could honestly say that I don't acknowledge Donald Trump as president of the United States. So does that mean that I am willing to allow somebody from another state, because they know that a little less than half America don't recognize this fool as president, that they could come in and pick his sorry ass up and take him for the war crimes that he's committed in Iran and the 150 babies that he unalived? Would that be right for me to say and do? No. It wouldn't be right, because they expect us to deal with our own issues with this nut and vote him out of office.
Why would you call him a nut? Why would you call him a nut, though?
The man is a nut. He's cooking for Cocoa Puffs. He's mental. The man can't stay awake. And the fact that these people had the nerve to be calling former President Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, when this fool can't even stay awake at a meeting. He can't stay awake at his party. He can't even climb back up and down. It's just a freaking joke. He is technically the oldest president in the United States, and it's a joke. It's a laughing matter. I can't even begin to believe that you guys voted for him, but that's your president.
Okay, let's see what else.
Congratulations. Oh, Lord.
All right, let's see what else he has to say.
We're going to bomb the hell out of them if they violate the agreement. I don't want them to.
Seems like to me he's showing strength. He says he's going to bomb the hell out of them.
That's what we call it? We call it strength? Can you imagine for a moment if... Can you imagine? Let's go back to Earth 1. Can you imagine, Mel, if former President Barack Obama was standing right there next with 2 people saying that he was going to use explosive devices on Iran? Can you imagine if we were looking at that right now? What our white brothers and sisters, what our MAGA brothers and sisters would be doing right now? Can we just take a moment?
Trump says that Obama just gave Iran money, boatloads of money, billions.
Irony. Isn't that the irony, though, for him to have the nerve to say that after he's about to give them like $3-point-something billion, either $1 to $3 billion worth of money from the sanctions that he's about, and he have the nerve. And that's another thing about Donald Trump. He is so special that everything he accused other people of doing, he's doing. That's his own special gift to us in the world. Everything he criticized other people of doing, he's doing. Right? But anyway, that's your guy. Y'all voted for him. I'm just living in y'all world right now. We're going to leave it alone. But I just want to say that we didn't get nothing out of this. Rest in peace to those young people who were unalived as a result of this unnecessary, ridiculous ridiculous war, and then for me to not only have to worry about the uranium, we also have to worry about the fact that he gave them the ability and the authorization to build missiles that could hit America, and that's your president that you proud of? Go ahead, Mel. You want to play some more?
Okay, we better finish it up.
I want them to honor the agreement. Again, the straits close up. Bad things can happen. You know, in war, terrible things happen.
When we started this action, many don't want to call it a war, right?
It's a war.
The strait was open, uninhibited, but it was closed as a result of us going into Iran. So what do you think about that?
I'm even hearing that now we have to. They have a right to charge now. He actually gave that up because beforehand it was free, right? Free access. I'm hearing as part of the peace deal, they could charge fees. They never charge fees. Is it that what do we get? Like what? I mean, if y'all don't want to listen to me, y'all don't even have to listen to me because I know you guys love your Fox News. Go listen to Fox News. Go listen to Fox News and tell it, and then you can hear exactly how Fox News feel about this, to the point that they say he's not happy with their commentary, that he feels that they're being disrespectful. Please go check your Republican representative, what they have to say about this deal, and go check out Fox News. I don't know what to tell y'all. Your guy is a clown. He's a clown.
Now, what gives you an indication people watch Fox News here?
Oh, please. Just by the commentary, they watch Fox News. Just the fact that they have the nerve to talk about peaceful transition, the fact that January 6th was peaceful, when in your own eyes, y'all could see that the bunch of fools went in there, destroyed, tried to unalive a couple of officers. One officer had a heart attack and stuff like that, and tried to unalive hundreds of others. Right? We're lucky that they didn't burn the whole place down. For you to even say something like that was crazy and asinine to me. And most of the time it's because Fox News feeding you guys this garbage. But I want you guys to go listen to Fox News to see what Fox News have to say about this deal. Let's see if you guys could go listen and take something out of it, because apparently you guys want to twist everything around. For example, Fox News spent years talking about it. You guys spent years talking about the Epstein files. The Democrats are the only one that's going to be in it, and we're going to be surprised that we're going to arrest a bunch of Democrats. Now that y'all found out that Donald Trump was listening there over thousands of times, now some of you got, a good amount of you got, maybe half of the MAGA don't want to know anything else about the Epstein files anymore.
Okay, we have a lot of new people here tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I appreciate it. Let's get back to it a little bit.
Like you mentioned the question before about the school gets hit, other things get hit. Bad things happen in war.
So he said the school got hit. Maybe he's talking about the school that had the...
Well, apparently, thank God he took responsibility. He's actually acknowledged that he did it, because there was a moment there where there was some hedging back and forth about whether America was responsible for that initially, when they talk about the 150, just to show how a sociopath he is. Because I call him clown to be kind, because we have a lot of people here that love him, but he's a sociopath. Because for you to be flippant and talk about the unalivement of kids in school like that, just told you what kind of mental he's incapable of discernment, incapable of empathy. He's incapable of being the president of the United States of America, because what he just said is crazy.
Okay, so this is the last part of the video.
War is a nasty place. I see it. I see it better than maybe anybody has ever seen it.
Okay, so he's seen it better. All right.
How could he see it? His ass didn't go to war. His ass talk about his shin was messed up, so he couldn't be drafted. So how did he see it? How did he know how to even serve the country? The reason why he have no respect for the unalivement of our young people that went there because of this nonsense war is because he never served. and I'm sure that he can make sure none of his children served. I mean, I was waiting for the draft so he could send his son Byron. Oh,
He's too tall. He's too tall to go.
that boy could have gone.
I think he's 6'9" or something like that. He can't go.
It would have been great. He could have been like a captain in point.
What? What did you say?
I said he could have been a captain in point. Like there
Oh.
they are. Look over all the soldiers and say, "There they are, the enemies over there. Come on, man, stop playing with me."
Oh,
Anyway,
my
I'm glad
goodness.
that hopefully the war stays over and we could move past that. Your president is something else, boy. You guys are a mess. God bless y'all, man. Bless y'all. Y'all bless y'all, boy. Y'all really did us one. Y'all really did us one. But hey, the only way America's gonna learn if this guy do everything that he promised to do, and you guys can learn. And I always wanted to give this speech. I need to tell you something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I'm glad you gave me the opportunity. A lot of us Black females, Black women, and some men wonder why white women of America helped propel Donald Trump to this new election, especially since we felt that our white sisters is losing the same amount of freedom that we are losing, right? And we were led to believe that our white sisters, Latino, Asian sisters, but mostly white sisters, care about our freedom. And you know something? I realized something. I was thinking about this. The reason why our white sisters voted for Donald Trump is because Donald Trump benefit their husbands and their sons. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying our white sisters don't love their daughters. They do. They just don't care about their freedoms. You know why? Because they feel that he benefit their sons and their husband better. And they feel that if they benefit the sons and the husbands, then they'll take care of the daughters. And I couldn't understand it. I'm like, but you know, she don't have no rights. So what? She don't have a right. The father will have a right. Their husband will have a right. My sons will have the right. So for all the minorities, the Black and browns, and everybody impacted, we'll be fine because he's going to be able to give more power, more money to my white husbands, my white sons, and even some of our white sisters married to minority husbands that feel that they are elevated because they're white in their whiteness, right? They feel that they're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. So I'm like, it took me a while to understand that. I'm like, okay, I see y'all. I see what you're doing. So you care more, love more the men of the family than the female of the family. Because at the end of the day, if the men of the family is making it, then that means you guys would be okay. Fuck everybody else. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Anyway, I hope you guys get everything that you guys voted for, and we'll see at the end of the day who's right or wrong.
Okay. So that was your speech?
Yep, that's how I feel about it. Yep. Because I couldn't understand why our white sisters voted for him, but I got it. I got it now. I got it. Because I heard apparently some of our white sisters are talking about they don't need to vote. I was like, what? Yeah, apparently there's a whole thing now where some of the MAGAs, the TPS under Erica, you know, the widow of CK, I don't want to name her last name. Apparently they had a TPS event where some of the MAGA white wing women were talking about, you know, women should be having more children and everything like that, should be proud to be homemakers and stuff like that. And there was some of the women that were saying, yeah, I don't think I need to vote. I trust my husbands. They can vote for me. I'm fine to doing away with the voting right. I'm like, yo, that's some shit. And I have to tell you guys something that I've learned, and I thank you guys for educating me, because I got to thank my MAGA brothers and sisters. Y'all woke me up. I swear to God, y'all did. I actually thought it was the older generation that was actually voting for Donald Trump and really was feeding into this whole illusion of this new white wonderful world with limited minority impact, with no DEI and stuff like that. And then we no longer have to talk about slavery because black people can't get over it. We want a utopia of whiteness and everybody else is second. I thought it was the older white people that did, but actually it's people my age and younger. And your family, your mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers and uncles and stuff, they actually taught you guys that you guys are better than the rest of us. That in your whiteness, not only do you carry a beauty and intelligence unlike anything else, but you guys deserve the world. And the fact is that if you don't think like they do and vote for a man who respect your whiteness, then the rest of us is going to take away what is God and is almighty, even though Jesus Christ is black, brown, because he wasn't born in a white, if we believe in Jesus Christ. But your white gods going to give you guys everything y'all want if we just reverse time and take away the rights of black and brown. And the fact is that you feel scared that your whiteness is not being protected because too many white people are integrating with black and brown people, which is diluting the superior race. So this is why you need Donald Trump to reverse the clock and bring you guys back to the time of whiteness and greatness, make America great again. And it goes from the older generation down to the youth. I did not know that. I was like, yo, wow. Yeah, well, as I said, congratulations. Hopefully you guys get your utopia. We'll see.
All right. Are those your closing?
I'm sarcastic about hopefully you guys get your utopia, because if you get the utopia, us black and brown people ain't gonna be around. So I hope you don't get it. I'm being sarcastic, by the way, but at least that's how I'm thinking about it. That's why white women voted for Donald Trump, and the younger voted for Donald Trump too.
Why did the black women vote for Donald Trump?
We don't think of the 8%ers that voted for Donald Trump, because 92% of us did not vote for Donald Trump. We voted for Kamala Harris. But I will tell you, since you asked, thank you for asking. Not all black folks are king folks. You ever heard of that saying?
Yeah, heard it before.
So what that means, just in case people don't understand, is that we have loving black minorities, brown, Asian, Latinos that feel that white people are the answers to their prayers, right? They feel that they are better than other black folks, and they want to align themselves with white folks. So I'm going to give you an analogy that I'm not going to like. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to like it. So I'm going to tell you.
Oh, Lord.
Back in slavery, there were what is called, you had the mansions, right? The plantations. You had two groups of people. You had the field people, and I'm not going to use the S word, and you have the kitchen one. And the people who took care of the kids. Now, a lot of them were family members, right? That was illegal. I mean, that was, that was not illegal. That was, made by the master, abusing, the field. Some of them were their children. But other than that were people that they picked. And the people that was in the kitchen, they learned to love their masters and their mistresses, because they got to scrap, they got to wear better clothes in some cases. So they got the better clothes, they got the good food, they were able to hang out with the kids, especially if they were family members, even the illegitimate family members. So they started thinking themselves they were better. Look at the movie Queenie. Queenie is a great example of that. They started thinking themselves they're better than the ones that's in the fields, that living in a shack, right? That's the mentality. So the closer you get to whiteness, where you think that they're treating you so much better because you think that you're better than anybody else, that's the delusion, right? because everybody else is about some bullshit, but you're the one, you have the answer, right? That's why I think a lot of them voted for Donald Trump. Also, I think a lot of them do not care about other people's, because here's the thing about people in America. We care about self, right? A lot of people, because I think I say it all the time, even black folks, especially the black folks that vote for MAGA, I say you could be a lot of racist or a little racist. And I think almost everybody who voted for Trump has a bit of racism in them. They lack empathy and they have racism. That's just me. Because there's no way you're going to vote for racism, not be an enabler of racism. And if you're an enabler of racism, that means to me you're a little racist. So anyway, with that said, I will go on and say that these people believe that what Donald Trump is doing benefit them, F everybody else, right? So if you think like that and you don't care about the fact that some people don't no longer have SNAP, some people medical, I have a family member right now that the medication that they need is $3,000, right? $3,000. You understand what I'm saying? They don't care about that. You don't care that people are struggling to pay grocery prices. Why should you? Because you could afford it. You don't care that gas prices is high and in our tanks is double the cost. You don't care that it impacts our electricity and stuff like that. You don't care because you live that life and you believe, especially a lot of them are celebrities anyway. You believe that whatever Donald Trump is doing is going to benefit you. F everybody else that is impacted. Right? So that's why there is such a small minority of black women who voted for him, because a large amount of black women, we know what the real struggle is because we've been struggling our whole life. So we know what benefits us and what doesn't benefit us. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we have that percentage. Any other question now?
No, thank you very much for coming on tonight. As always, many enjoy hearing your philosophies of women.
Philosophy of voting, yes. And
You know
why
how
we
the
can do it.
you know how the Bible says the philosophies of men. You're the philosophies of women. You have
Well,
all
what's your
these
philosophy? Why do
big
you think that?
ideas.
So, sir, before we go, why do you think so many people voted? Let's see, since you're a black male, I mean, I shouldn't identify you. Do you identify yourself as a black male?
I identify as a tree.
As a tree. Okay, as a tree.
Yeah.
Tell me why less than 20% of other trees
Oh my
voted for
goodness.
Donald Trump.
We're really gonna go with this tree analogy. Okay.
I mean, you said it. I didn't say it.
Well,
You said it. I'm going with you.
I was just going.
I
Okay,
know
so,
you are. I know.
let's get serious. What is it now?
Why did 20 you believe like less than 18% of black male voted for Donald Trump?
Oh, I could tell you that.
Okay,
I saw a lot of guys comment. I mean, I have a lot of friends that I know of that voted for Trump because they felt like he could bring about a change. They wanted to give him a shot because here's the thing, right? And I don't want to. I'm going to shoot it straight. Okay, I'm
yeah,
going to shoot it straight. Bush did such a bad job. They put in Barack Obama, right? Everybody's like, we just need a change. We want something different. Let's give Barack Obama a shot. Okay. So it's a similar mentality. Joe Biden showed up and he had a lot of promises, right? One was the student loans. And I'm throughout the process, because in my past life, I was in finance, right? So I hear even still, a lot of my old clients call me and asking questions, but the dominant factor was the student loans. And so even though Congress or whatever way you want to spin it, a lot of people that fell flat, right? There's a big debate whether it was Joe Biden's fault or we could talk about the others, right? But that was a big issue. I'm just using that as one example. Go ahead.
What do you mean by fell flat?
Well, a lot of people did not get their student loans forgiven. That was a big issue.
I did.
Okay, you did, but there was a lot that didn't.
No, and the reason why is not because of former President Joe Biden, it's because of Congress stopped it.
Okay, so that's what that's. Are you listening to me?
Yeah, but they blaming former President Joe Biden when he actually implemented
I
as
just
far as
said
he
that.
possibly can.
I just said that though.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, but I just said that.
Go ahead.
So anyway, so that was a big issue, and then it seemed like Joe Biden was absent, and then we found out maybe it's because of his health, right? Okay, go ahead, speak on it. You seem like you're disagreeing. You want my answer? I'm telling you what I heard from
I'm listening.
from live men.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So a lot of
Somebody told me, can I interrupt you for a second? I had the same comment. You remember my friend that's a MAGA supporter that voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
She said the same thing to me. We just had this conversation 2 weeks ago, and I hope that she see it. Hey, you know who you are. And I love we've never met in person, but she's a casino channel with me. Wonderful person, wonderful. I love her and her husband. They actually send me Vanessa Williams bags and stuff like that. I hope she don't mind me talking about that. But anyway, I apologize if I outed you. But anyway, if anybody know, they know. Anyway, this amazing couple who are amazing. They are very charitable. They're very good people, I have to say, even though, me and her totally disagree. One of the things that she said to me was the fact that one of the reasons they were concerned was because of Joe Biden. They felt that Joe Biden suffered from dementia, right? His health. I said, he did not suffer from dementia. I said, do you know why? I said, the election was on November 6th. I actually was standing and speaking to former President Joe Biden around October 10th, around that time. Because I went to an event and he was there and he spoke to me. He gave me an award. So, we took photos. It was in recognition of the work that we do with Pew Bouvin. I said, I stood right there and I looked at the man and we had a full-blown conversation about gun violence and veterans and how veterans support America. He thanked me for my service. So she said to me, oh, people with dementia, they have, and I'm not laughing at you. You're an amazing person. They said they have clarity. They could be around, they could speak in present tense for about an hour and they return. I said, this man did not only have a photo session, he actually was in our event for at least 3 hours and he gave a speech. And it was after they found his son. He found out that his son was being indicted by DOJ. This is why he was late for our event. And he still came. He still showed up. He still had our photo op. He still spoke to multiple people. There were several of us that took photos, and he still gave us a speech. Like, come on, people. Like, I spoke to Joe Biden. Many people spoke to him. He didn't have a medical condition. He didn't have dementia. He didn't have it. So it makes me crazy when people, it makes me crazy. And even if that's the case, and a lot of people, George Clooney, who I hate, decided that he no longer was a viable candidate because he did a horrible job at the debate, and they felt that Donald Trump was so much better. We had Kamala Harris.
Let me just.
Still wasn't good enough for y'all. But go ahead, Mel. I'm sorry I interrupted you. So yeah, dementia is out the door. He didn't suffer from dementia or any mental disability because I met the man and spoke to him personally. Go ahead, Mel. What else you want to?
Does that make him better because you met him and he gave a good speech?
It doesn't make him better, but
he was a little late.
It put the lies to rest because people have a tendency of talking about shit they don't know. You need to start speaking to people who's actually there. You understand what I'm saying? You need to start speaking to people who actually met with the man, who actually spoke with the man and stuff like that, who knows exactly. The man was as brilliant as he ever was. I'm not saying that the man was not old. Donald Trump is old. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he didn't have age. I'm not saying that he didn't slow down. What I'm saying is that he did not suffer from dementia. That's what I'm saying.
You brought up dementia. I didn't bring up dementia.
I'm saying that you didn't mention it, but people said that he had some disability. That's what they were saying.
I was telling you why 20% of black men switched up on the Democratic Party.
Okay, so going to the Democratic Party. Why did
you brought up dementia? Not me.
I thought you said that Joe Biden. You were going into Joe Biden. You were saying something about Joe Biden. And I stopped.
excuse the way I'm gonna break this down, but a
Okay.
lot of the black guys that I know, they felt like he fell asleep at the wheel. Do you know what that expression means?
You
Is
mean the
that
same
is
thing that
that
Donald Trump is doing now?
well?
You mean the
See
same
now,
thing that Donald Trump is
are
doing
we
now?
gonna talk about this? So I know it's tough to hear it.
I'm just saying no. I'm just saying the same thing that Donald Trump is doing
Am
right
I
now.
am I
He's on
hitting
the wheel, right?
am I hitting
Donald
your
Trump is
chords?
actually sleeping at
I'm hitting
meetings
your
right now.
chords. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're
yeah.
talking about, right? It's the same
But
thing, right?
you ask a question, but you don't want the answer,
No,
right?
but I don't think that we saw Biden sleeping at no damn his birthday party
It's
or
just like this case. It's
at a
just like,
meeting.
see what I'm saying? See how I could tell
Did we?
you're all worked
But
up.
anyway, go ahead.
It's
You were
just
saying
like the
he
Carmelo
fell asleep
Anthony.
at the wheel.
People want to ask me questions, and then when I
Okay, I'm
answer, they get
listening.
mad.
He said, "Go ahead, continue."
Okay, all right.
I'm asleep
So
at the wheel. Go ahead.
all right. So they felt like Joe Biden fell asleep at the wheel. So let me break it down for you. I've never spoken about this, so I'm just gonna,
I'm glad
since
you
you asked, nobody ever asked me these questions, so
I
you
would
get
like
my
to.
answer.
Go ahead.
So I was very intrigued by it, but here's the thing: the Democratic Party, Joe Biden ended my Democratic career as far as supporting Democrats. Okay,
Really? Go
I was
ahead.
deeply troubled by Joe Biden. You know,
Okay.
I'm not a Republican, but he pushed me totally into the independent box. I haven't told anybody about it, right?
All
But
right.
here's the thing: throughout my entire life, like if you go back in history, you saw the things he said. I'm not holding it against him, right?
I know about that.
But a lot of people did not forget, and you know nowadays every time something happens, people start digging up everything about you, and they put it online. We saw that with Joe Biden, right? So the Democratic Party are masterful, and they know the sweet spots to offer you free things or whatever it is, right? And then when you get into the whole presidency, you don't see those things materialize, and we hear, "Oh, it was Congress, that damn Congress." You know what I mean? Now, and again, I'm trying to tell you from what I hear, because I have a lot of people that are similar, you know, because this is what their experience was with Joe Biden, right? Not everybody, but it was with him. He came in, he had policies that were really designed to help black people advance. He knew the sweet spots just to hit student loans. I heard the people, and then all of a sudden, when they couldn't get those student loans forgiven, they were so agitated about it. Okay, now here's the thing: different with Trump. While he was getting shot at, while I was in court with him at 100 Center Place. Okay, all we heard was that he's getting indicted, he's going to go to jail. This is what you're hearing, right? I'm telling you why he became president. So he's out there on the circuit going around round round giving all these um I don't want to, let me use, I want to say rally. Yeah, rally, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Down south,
White
down south
supremacist
that gets
rallies.
a bit
White supremacist rallies. Yes. Mhm.
oh my god, come on.
Go ahead.
Let's keep this above board.
Well, your ex.
But he was boots on the ground. He was boots on the ground
Mhm.
listening to people, right? Because I always
Oh,
said, listen,
really?
if I had to, no, listen, I'm not even a Republican. I'm just telling you. You asked me a question, so
You listen to people.
you got to give me time to talk, okay?
Okay. Go ahead.
So he was in the circuit and having all of these events, and that's where he ended up getting shot in the ear, right?
Mm.
And so he's starting to talk and connect to the American people who are upset that Joe Biden didn't deliver on the student loans. Gas prices was up. It was the economy. Remember your friend Kamala, right? That you know,
Mhm.
right? Remember what she was offering? And when she had the debate and they asked her, you know, is there really anything different between what you could do versus what Joe Biden? And she basically said, oh, Joe Biden's doing a good job, you know. And
And
then
he was.
also, she was supposed to be taking care of the border. And up
Mm.
here where I live at, we had literally people that were being bussed out of Texas, all those lower states. They were coming into New York. You know about it, right?
Yeah.
Then they started sending them upstate New York.
Mhm.
And a friend of mine was working security at the hotels at night. All the illegal immigrants that were coming in, sometimes we see them marching. That materialized to them coming upstate New York.
Yes.
So now, when you go to Panera Bread, this happened. I'm telling you a real experience. We're at Panera Bread trying to get a little bread and some whatever, and these guys are trying to break in your car. So that became, there were so many illegal immigrants in the hotels, you couldn't even get a room for one. This is the policy that they had rolling, stemming out of New York, right? You know about Eric Adams and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So all of that was happening. Okay. So all of these things happening is what caused people to just say, listen, anything has to be better than this. So then you start getting the black guys saying, listen, I'm going to cross over. I heard some of them say, I'm going to give him a shot. And then when that happened, that's why people were like, well, wow, why is these guys all of a sudden going over with Trump? Not only was it black guys, you asked me about black guys, so I gave you my honest opinion, right? I think about this a lot. But you also had the Hispanics who did the same thing, right?
And the
Very,
white,
very similar. The
they love
tables turn.
the
The
white.
table. I'm not saying that these people didn't or haven't experienced the same thing that we experienced with Joe
Yeah.
Biden. Okay, and that they now want a refund. That could be possible, right?
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it was a lot of the promises that Joe Biden made that never materialized that caused people. And you asked specifically about black men. That's why they switched over.
Nice. Student loans. Most of the promises with the student loan was accomplished. My son, most of his student loans, besides the private ones, was actually forgiven. Mine were forgiven, and several people I know was forgiven. More was going to be forgiven if it wasn't for the Republican Congress who did not sign off on it. So that's one. You talk.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question.
Can we finish? Can we?
Okay,
Can we
okay, okay. Go ahead. Go
talk
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
that?
You're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Right. And then you talk about the fact that a lot of the black people, there was a lot of stuff in the history of and I'm guessing the Clarence Thomas case, in which he supported Clarence Thomas against Anita Hill. I'm sure you're talking about that. And Anita Hill has said that she has moved on and she no longer, because he apologized to her. So you want me to look at the history of him, which I completely disagree what he did to Anita Hill, because he was supporting Clarence Thomas, to SA alleged grape piss president who is on video talking about how he's grabbing them by the PUSSY, who had several legal cases, who has several bankruptcies, who lied about his taxes, who is in the Epstein files over more than thousands of times. You want to equate the character of President Biden, right, to say that black men looked at his history and found him short, where they actually voted for alleged rapist, according to the judge. I'm not saying the judge said it, that his action could be deemed as if he raped Jean Carroll. You want me to believe that these upstanding 18% black male had such a problem with Joe Biden, but they have no problem with the characteristic horny Tushin corn star having relation when his illegal bride had a 3-month-old? You want me to think that they thought this man was better for president than this guy? That's what you want me to think. And they thought about that. Now, we're talking about now a check, the $2,000 check that I'm still waiting for, that I still haven't gotten yet, because apparently that's was promised. A lot of black folks felt that was promised. You talk about how the economy was bad under Joe Biden when he was coming out of the COVID epidemic, in which Donald Trump was purely responsible for, right? Our economy has not
COVID happened. COVID happened during Biden, right?
COVID happened under Donald Trump, as you know, sir. Okay, because he was president.
Okay, I had to clarify you.
Right?
You were going too far left
It was
with that.
March to November. The election was in November. So from March to November, he was still president when COVID came in. He lied about it, right? Unalived 1 million people. He almost unalived himself, right? Because of it. You talk about the economy. The economy is worse under Donald Trump than it was ever under former President Biden. You even have farmers who became what we call welfare queens, because they used to call black folks welfare queens. They're getting all these subsidiary. They're begging our white brothers and sisters. Farmers are begging their hands out, begging the president because they can't sell their wheat and because of the sanctions. So you're talking about all of these things that this man allegedly was supposed to do for us, for them, to the black people, not even for us, for the black folks who voted for him and the white people, that I have not seen anything come to fruition. So they wanted a change, and they got this asinine president. But my biggest problem.
Can I ask you a question before you go on? You're going on for a long time now, long time. Okay.
My biggest problem with your argument is if you had this argument in 2016, even though I would have been mad, I would have said, okay, this fool destroyed America from 2016 to 2020.
Hold on 1 second. I have to ask you this, or else it's not going to apply later. Okay. Do you identify as a black man?
I identify as a black woman, but thank you.
Okay. So your question, right? Your question was,
about
why did black men switch up for Trump? Right?
Yes, and I responded in kind.
And I told you things that I observed and I heard from black men, because you said 18% of them voted for Trump, right?
And then I answered.
So I gave you my answer from my observation of walking life, and I told you I wasn't happy with Joe Biden either, right? Okay, so also a lot of these guys, right? They wasn't ready to vote for Kamala. I'm telling you, you asked me a question, I'm answering for you.
Because they didn't.
So see what I'm saying? This is the same. This is the same issue, right? Number one, you're listening to see what I'm going to say. That's gonna it hurts you. You can't even take what I'm saying.
I'm hearing you.
You're asking. Hold on. It's all love. You know how we do it.
I know,
but you're asking me a question, right? And you're listening to see if I'm gonna.
So I can
if it's agreeing to what you like and what you love, right?
I know you don't agree with me. We didn't agree.
Okay, so it's bothering. Listen, it's bothering you, and that's very indicative of a real problem that we have. But check it out.
It's not.
So let me get this out. Let me get it out. You asked me, right? I'm not saying a lot of these people may have changed their position on Trump, right? But you asked me about a specific time period, and that's what I'm explaining to you, right? So not only was Joe Biden like the reason why they decided to change their minds, but also now you have Kamala, who had a reputation of locking up black men.
Oh, that's a lie. And you know
okay,
that's a
it
lie.
Does. Listen. Hold on. Wait.
That to be false.
So you don't even want the conversation.
No. But no. If you're gonna say something, everything else you said, I could take. But
I'm telling you. Listen, I'm giving.
That's false, though.
Just because you don't agree, that means it's the words. Hold on. You can't even relax and take. You see that this is a common thread. This is a pandemic in this world.
We had media channel. Everything else I could give to feelings.
Okay, so let me talk then.
That was a lie.
No.
Go ahead. That was a lie.
It's a lie to you, but it's not a lie to everybody.
Proven. No, Google it. It was proven as a lie. I'm telling you,
let me. Okay, you got to really listen now.
Factual, it was a lie. That part of it was a lie.
Okay, get everything out, because when I start talking this time around, I want to get my words out. Go ahead.
Everything else is feelings, but that part about her incarcerating black people, that was found to be a lie. Everything else is about feelings. We still going back and forth. Black men feel a certain way, blah, blah, blah. But that right there was a factual comment that was proven to be a lie. That's what I'm just telling you. So go ahead.
Okay, great. So now it's my turn. Beautiful. God bless America. All right. So here's the deal, right? I know it's tough to hear what I'm saying, and it bothers you a little bit, but it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If it's on social media, people tend to believe it. So a lot of people, when they see things on Facebook, they're going to take it, Bill Clinton has 3 heads. Oh my God, I always felt like he had 3 heads. That's what they're going to say, right? So when black men saw Kamala had a reputation for locking up black men, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Most people are not going to research it. I learned that on a lot of these cases that I cover. Once they see something, and just like you are behaving tonight, it doesn't agree, or it agrees with what they already thought, because you're just trying to confirmation bias. That's what you're looking for. It's human nature, right? So it's just like in court when we cover Diddy, and sometimes Mark Agnifilo or some of these attorneys, they'll say something that's not true just to muddy the waters for the jury, just so now the jury will start to believe something that's not true, right? And so what does the other side do? They say objection, but it's too late because they say what? The cat is out the bag.
Yeah.
Okay? So it don't matter if it's true that she locked up a lot of black men. Nobody's going to go research it. Typically, people don't research stuff, right? But you're asking me why. So these guys are like, or, hey, listen, man, I was married before or whatever. I got a divorce. Women, I don't want no woman running this country for me. All of these kind of concepts, I'm giving you free game, whether you want to hear it or not. But you want to know why many black men went and voted for Trump. So, as I told you, just to quantify, George Bush did such a poor job, right? That people that would typically would never vote for a black man, they said, man, this guy did such a bum job. I'm going to vote for a black man. See, now you'll accept that, but you won't accept all the other stuff that I was saying to you. See, you're not ready. You're not ready for the conversation.
The reason why I'm not ready is because they already gave that fool a chance from 2016 to 2020, and he practically destroyed America. And they again gave him another chance on 2024 to 2028. And the main reason why they did is because there's a lot of racism and there's a lot of sexism, right? And they couldn't stand the fact that they were going to vote for a black woman. Now, in my opinion, I didn't think Joe Biden should have dropped out. I think that Joe Biden had a better chance of winning the presidency because he's an equally white male than Kamala Harris, even with the bad debate. I thought it was a bad call, and I love me some Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris would have been an amazing president, but I don't think America is ready for a black female president. So I always felt that we were on the back ball any which way when it came to her. So I thought that I agreed with President Biden. A lot of people didn't agree that he was the better chance with Donald Trump, especially towards the end. If the Epstein files came out, the information that Epstein file came before the election, we would have turned it around. I myself believe that the reason why we lost the election is not because of former President Biden debate. It's not because of Kamala Harris. I believe it's because of the war in Israel. That's what I believe. The Palestine and Israel war is the war that went too far. The fact that the president of the United States embraced Netanyahu in Israel got a lot of these young people up in the war. I mean, they were very upset about that. And then after that, they kept on harassing former Vice President Kamala Harris to make sure that she takes the opposite stance, even though she said that she believes in two states, she believes in peace and everything. They wanted her to go directly against President Biden, and she couldn't do that as his vice president. There was no way she couldn't do it. It's the same thing. The same way they didn't expect Pence to go against Trump, right? Is the same way they couldn't understand why Kamala Harris couldn't go against President Biden, right? So I believe that's the case. Now, the hysteria for me, and I'm being sarcastic because I don't think anything is funny, is the fact that Donald Trump bullshit a lot of these young people saying that, oh, he's going to end the aggression of Israel to Hamas. And I'm not taking, sorry guys, I'm not Jewish, nor am I Palestinian, so it's not my fight to have. So I'm not picking any sides. You guys know what the issue is. God bless you guys. I hope your community work it out. But at the end of the day, the Palestinian people, or at least the American Palestinians, felt that they believed that Donald Trump was going to come in and gave them the two-state. They actually believed that he said that he was going to resolve the issue. Now he wants to turn Gaza into a resort. That's what they voted for. Whatever happened, happened. May everybody who lost their lives down there, may they rest in peace and may they get justice. Or may the Israel people get their land. I don't know. I'm not Israel. I'm not Palestine. But I'm saying that war is what had the major impact on a former President Biden election. And that's why he lost it. As far as why Kamala Harris can go, they was not going to vote for a black woman. And they wanted to spend time and spin the wheel and try to convince us black women not to accept Kamala Harris as a black woman because what she has an Asian mom. When we know back in the 18th century when they brought black folks in from all different countries, whether it's Africa, whether it's Haiti, whether it's Egypt, as long as you black and have a bit of 1/10 of a black blood, you would consider black throughout history. And all of a sudden Kamala Harris have a black Jamaican father and she's no longer black. It's bullshit. All of that was bullshit. They weren't going to vote for a black woman, period. So instead of us being honest about it, about what we want, people voted for Donald Trump not because they want to change so much, because they know the bullshit he was about. White people voted for Donald Trump because they felt that white people, black people was too uppity. They needed to bring us down a peg. We were having too much rights. Pro-writers did not want people to have, anti-rights did not want people to have pro-rights. They believed that they wanted Roe and Wade to be done away with. That's us white females, right? Then you have our white male who's sick and tired of black women and black men advancing at their job. They feel that they need to have all the executive jobs. They were sick of that, right? You have our Latinos who believe that their whiteness or their adjacent to whiteness was going to make their lives better because they don't recognize black folks. They refuse to acknowledge the fact that they're black. You can't tell a Latino they're black in any which way because they're Latino or they're white. You understand? Your Asian people feel, God bless all of y'all. I'm not hating. I'm just letting you guys know. Asian people feel that they're above, a step above black folks. Everybody think they're a step above black folks. And everybody felt that whatever Donald Trump was bringing was not going to impact them. They were going to impact black folks, meaning SNAP, meaning welfare, meaning Medicaid. All of that was going to impact black folks. They didn't realize that predominantly white women in southern countries are the one that need SNAP the most. They didn't realize it were our veterans that needed SNAP and the Medicaid. They didn't realize that it's our white grandma and granddads that need Medicaid and welfare. They didn't realize that. They thought it was black folks. They don't understand that us black females, especially us black females, and our black brothers too, we don't have the luxury of depending on SNAP or depending on welfare or depending on Medicaid. Some of us have 3 or 4 jobs. That's why a lot of us are living through this and we're not as suffering as much as a lot of people think that we should suffer because we lived through this already. We've always lived through this. We always struggle. So having Donald Trump as president, it pisses us off because we think you guys are crazy. But it's not making us struggle any more than we would have struggled any other way because we already went through the struggle. And our lives was better under the Democrats than it is ever over the Republican. So we're pissed off because we know, y'all saw what he did between 2016 and 2020. Y'all didn't vote for him because you think he could do better. Y'all vote for him because you think that he could take away more rights. He could give you guys what y'all want anytime y'all want it. Also, and let me not forget about the transgender people.
Oh, Lord.
You guys feel that transgender people have too much rights. Y'all did not like the fact that transgender could have access to bathrooms. There was a whole Instagram incident, that TikTok incident, in which a father took his 2 daughters into the bathroom to wash their hands. And this white male, it was a white male, come in there and call the police on the white father who was traveling from Oklahoma to Florida because he has his daughters. I think he said 46 days each, year because apparently he's separate from the mom. So they do a road trip. So he stopped at a quick gas station, and he was not going to send his daughters into the bathroom. His two young daughters, I think they were like probably 6 or 7 or 5, two little young daughters. He wasn't going to send them to the bathroom with a total stranger. He went into the bathroom. He said he opened the door to check and make sure nobody in there. He's like, hey, anybody in there? He brought his girls into the bathroom. They used the bathroom. He was washing his hand. This white male came in and started freaking out because apparently he's privileged. And he's upset because his white wife and his white mother-in-law, his mom, couldn't use the bathroom. And he's upset because the white guy, so they called the police on the white guy, telling the white guy, you shouldn't be in the bathroom to wash your daughter's hands. You should have let a total female stranger, Melissa, the attendant that was there, I think her name is Melissa. She did an amazing job to de-escalate. She should get an award. But he thought that he shouldn't be in the bathroom, right, with his daughters. Now, of course, he didn't understand the fact that the wife would have sat his ass outside anyway if the girls was using the bathroom, because there wouldn't have been any stall. But no, we don't want to think about that. But this is how people think, right? So you're afraid of even heterosexual male going into the bathroom. You're afraid of transgender. So that's another issue. They want a 2025 project. And let's not forget one final issue that makes me crazy. They wanted Black folks to stop talking about slavery. I'm sorry, I said the S word. They felt we should get over it, and they fell away. And this been in talk about since Paul Ryan. And I thought it was a city argument. Because before MAGA, it was Paul Ryan and his people. What was it called? The Paul Ryan was the GOP segment that had Paul Ryan that he created. I forgot the name of it, but it was before pre-MAGA. They had their own name of the group, but I can't think about it then. They started being mad about Black folks talking about slavery to their children since back then. They feel that Black folks should forget about slavery as if slavery no longer exists because there's no more racism. I think that's I think out of all the bullshit that I've heard about Donald Trump and the GOP and the current white brothers and sisters is that statement itself, that slavery is over. After we see constantly online white people calling Black folks the N-word. Prior to Donald Trump, there was a facade of a facade. It was a joke, but it was a facade of politeness. There was a facade of politeness. People wouldn't have dared or even think or be comfortable to even say the N-word with an A. Never mind the N-word with an ER. They're walking around like a bunch of assholes going into Black folks' faces using the ER, whether you're Black or not. Latinos is getting the words thrown at them. Latinos is turning it back. Without them realizing that us Black folks ain't our fathers and our mothers or our past generation, because we're going to put hand and foot in your face. They don't realize that. We ain't our great-great-grandfathers, great-great-grandmothers, they were tyrants. They did that thing because we wouldn't be who we are if it wasn't for them. So we're not taking away anything from the grace and fight that our forefathers did, but we ain't them. We ain't back in 1870. We will put foot to hand in your face. And please don't come at me about the Second Amendment. Because that's what a lot of my white brothers and sisters like. Oh,
wait a minute now. You got to be careful.
The Second Amendment. I'm almost finished. I'm almost going to land my plane. If you touch us, we have the Second Amendment. Well, we have the Second Amendment too, bros and sis. You understand what I'm saying? We in different times. So they don't like the fact that poor, innocent, beautiful, innocent-minded children have to listen about Black history or have to listen about the fact that people have 2 dads and 2 moms. It's wrong. They're too young. That's why they voted for Donald Trump. Not because they thought that Donald Trump was the answer to their prayers, that it was going to bring down the economy and stuff. That was all bullshit. They want to reverse time when the whiteness was the answer to all of our questions, where black and brown people was not as considered in society, where we knew our places. That's why. So all this other stuff that you told me, I appreciate it. I really do, Mel, but that's not the reason. They just
It's not
want
the reason.
time.
It's not the reason.
They're not the reason. That's not the
So
reason
tell
for
us
most people.
what the reason is.
I just said it. I'm not gonna repeat myself. I just gave you a whole narrative of why people voted for Donald Trump. And regards to our black
Not
brothers,
people. Your
and regards
question
to
was
our
black
brothers,
men.
as far as black men, right?
That
I
was
think
your
that
question. Yeah.
black men would have been comfortable with voting for former President Biden, right? They would never, most of 18% of black men would not have voted for Kamala Harris because she is a female. It has nothing to do with what some of them, the celebrities, I would say that the celebrities that makes millions of dollars, they thought that Donald Trump tax break was going to help them out. Also, I have to blame Kim Kardashian because she went into this bullshit where she's trying to tell black folks that Donald Trump was going to change the incarceration laws that was going to help black folks. Black men are still being arrested. The only black men that's being let go is the celebrities that have millions of dollars that he's pardoning. The changes that was made that Kim Kardashian implemented did not help regular black folks. It helped people that was connected to celebrities or people that Donald Trump wanted to profile as Uncle Ruckus and Auntie Ruckus in his election. So I think Kim Kardashian did us a big injustice when it comes to that, because I need to know, because she failed in her law school. But sis, you were supposed to continue with this whole incarceration chaining the rules and the laws to get most of our black folks who are actually in jail for minor offenses like drugs and marijuana. You're supposed to be doing that. I don't see you at the White House kissing Donald Trump behind to get more of our black folks out of jail. So she was another one. It was all about a facade and some bullshit. They voted for Donald Trump because they feel that they wanted their life to be better. Black men voted for Donald Trump because they wasn't going to vote for a black woman, or they wanted tax breaks. They know damn straight where we are right now. Gas prices are high. Grocery prices are high. They know it's about some bullshit. A lot of them is running away from child support. They thought that Donald Trump was going to do away with child support. They thought a lot of stuff that Donald Trump did not do. That's where we at. Did I answer your question?
You answered my question.
Thank you.
All right.
It was a great conversation, Mel, but thank you for telling me.
In your own way,
Yes.
with your own ideology and your own bias.
Okay, I'm accepting I'm biased because I want the world to be a better place, so I'll take that bias, because where we are right now is a bad place. But go ahead.
So you want the world to be a better place?
I think, yeah. I think the world right now, we in a shithole right now. The same shithole we talk about. I think we're in a shithole. But go ahead. What was your question?
No, I was making the connection with the question you asked me about why black men voted for Trump.
But I answered that question though. Why black men? They wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris, and they felt that Donald Trump was going to do something.
It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. You can't accept that, huh?
I don't see them. I think that if Joe Biden was president, more black men would have voted for him than Kamala Harris. I'm not saying 100% of them would, but I think most of them would have voted for him because they would have known that he was going to do away with the Medicare. And by the way, let's talk about the border. You know damn straight that former President Biden had one of the strictest border plans, and Donald Trump stopped him from implementing, told the GOP not to sign for it. You know that for a fact. Even Fox News was talking about it. I'm telling you stuff that even Fox News talk about, not just MSNBC. Fox News talked about that. He did not want them to sign that bill. Even Lindsey Graham and all of them. Tom, what's his name? The black congressman that officially married this white chick.
So let me ask you a question.
They all agreed that was one hell of a bill, and then Donald Trump told them no. He came out. Donald Trump said, "I told them not to vote for it."
Okay, when Joe Biden when Donald Trump left office, he was still controlling the border?
When Donald Trump left office, he wasn't still controlling the border.
Okay, all right.
But
So now,
that's a
hold on.
false
Wait,
narrative.
wait.
Guess what? Because we
Hold
had
on.
COVID and the world was closed. So that's a false narrative. You can't bring that.
Okay, so when Joe, let me work. Let me get my. I don't interrupt you, okay? And when you say I do, I try to back, right?
Okay,
So
go ahead. I'm listening.
when Joe Biden was president, who was responsible for the border?
Joe Biden was responsible for the border.
Oh, nobody else?
No. And guess what? Can I answer in full?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's the one that created the agreement where the Mexican government was going to keep most of the people in Mexico to be processed. So during the Joe Biden time, there was less immigrants coming into America during Joe Biden time than there was between 2016 and 2020. Not 2020. We can't count 2020 because of COVID. So that worked when he created that deal. It wasn't Donald Trump that created that deal that everybody had to be processed in Mexico. It was Joe Biden.
Okay.
All right.
So who was
the only reason that the Texas governor and the Florida governor sent those immigrants and they lied and put them in the car and the bus to bring them to the blue state is because it was a PR plan. They wanted to make the blue state looks terrible. They should have been charged with napping, but that case didn't go through. But go ahead, you were saying.
So Joe Biden was responsible for the border, right?
Yep.
Okay. What was Kamala Harris or Kamala responsible for? Does she have anything to do with the border?
She has anything to do with whatever Joe Biden gave her responsibility for, just the same way
it's in the past. So let's talk about what happened. It happened in the past. So answer, from the past.
She had any role that Joe Biden gave her, she implemented that role. Yeah, you asked me. Joe Biden gave her that role, then she had the duty to follow what Joe Biden told her to do. The same way as JD Vance has right now. Did you hear what Donald Trump said? That if this plan doesn't work with Iran, right? If it works with Iran, he's going to take credit. But if it doesn't work with Iran, he's going to blame JD Vance. Did you hear Donald Trump said that to the reporter today?
Yeah.
So it's the same deal, right?
You're hedging your argument because you don't want to admit that Kamala Harris was not holding her agreement when it came to the border, right?
How she's not holding her agreement? She did the same. She did the job again.
Okay. Well,
the least amount of they kept on saying over and over again a hold of people, like millions of people was coming through the border, and they did not come through the border.
Okay, so let me ask you this last question. So in my local area, where all the illegal immigrants or what have you, whichever way you want to frame it, when they were overloading the hotels, right? All of that, you're gonna. So we are helpless in New York. We blame Texas.
Helpless. You have to blame
who's ultimately responsible for that?
The governors of Texas and the governor of Florida, because they the one that put these people in the bus and brought them to the blue state because we had asylum. They wanted to teach us a lesson. So you got to blame them because if that was their responsibility. If we had now turned around and put the same people back on the bus and sent it back to Florida and Texas, then we would have been wrong, right? We would have been wrong, right?
Okay. All right. So we have to agree to disagree. I get it.
No, answer the question. If we had turned around, because a lot of people wanted the mayor of the blue states and the governor of the blue state to put these people back on the bus and send them back to Florida and to send them back to Texas. That's what we wanted. They wanted the blue states not to accept these people in. That's what they wanted. They wanted us to deny it so that they could show and point fingers and see. You see the mayor, because if they did the reverse, right, and the mayor said we refuse to accept the buses, then they could turn around and say, you see, they're just like us. They don't want them in their state either. They want to push off the trouble. So they couldn't win for losing. They didn't win accepting them. They didn't win sending them back. So they did what was humane, keep them here and try to help them as best as possible. But here's the thing, though. Donald Trump didn't send them back, though. They didn't send most of them back, did they? We still have Donald Trump has been here for a year and a half. He didn't send half of them back. They're still here. So what happened to the big plan that Donald Trump, except for unaliving 2 innocent people in Minnesota? What happened to this big plan to mass incarcerate? And now what he's doing now is he putting them into these detention centers where they're not getting medical help, where people are unaliving, they're not getting fed, they're not getting clothed, they're not able to take baths. He's putting them in detention. He's not shipping them out. He's not gathering them and do a mass exit like he promised.
Okay.
So what happened to that? Why is he failing? Why is he not? Why is he failing? According to Fox News again, he's failing on his promise to get rid of all these immigrants. He fell on that.
Slice of cake, right?
His czar.
Slice of cake.
He fired his czar. He fired his brother czar. Did he not, Mel?
Slice of cake. Slice of cake, right? You asked me about a specific moment in time. Hold on, wait. You asked me about a specific moment in time and why black men voted for Trump, right? 18% you said. And that's the discussion, right? Now, whether or not Trump has delivered and they're still happy with Trump, that's a different discussion for another day.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
So we talked about a specific moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did Trump deliver? Those are all other questions. We couldn't get into all of that, but you asked me a question. I gave you an honest answer. And also told you my issues with Democrats. If you would ask me, what are your issues with Republicans and all that, I could tell you that too. But tonight, you asked me a specific question.
Democrats. I don't want to hear about the Republicans. I want to hear
what your issues with. So that's what I answered. Okay.
Your issues is, with all due respect, my bro, I think it was crazy.
You think it's crazy?
Yes, I do.
My answer was that they were unhappy with Joe Biden. Right. And also they didn't want to go up under Kamala Harris because she had a reputation for locking up black men.
And that's a lie.
And you think that that's crazy?
I think it is because it's a lie.
It doesn't fit your no, it doesn't fit your narrative. That's what it is.
I know that for a lie. They fact checked it. All you have to do is fact check it. It's a lie. It's a lie. She had programs for incarcerated black males. She has programs for their families.
Okay, let me illustrate it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me illustrate
it. That's why she was so popular.
See, you can't even do that. Right?
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Just take a deep breath.
I am fine.
Let it out. Waiting to exhale, right? So this is why this is one of my favorite shows. Anyway,
go ahead.
Right now with Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
People are running around and they have a specific narrative, right? Some say, "Oh, it's an all-white jury."
It wasn't.
But that's what they run with. Mm-hmm. There are some people when Jay-Z came up with these allegations. Once they heard that, they said, "Oh, I always thought Jay-Z was a whatever."
Uh-huh. True.
When they came back around that he wasn't involved, a lot of those people never heard that part, or they didn't want to hear it because they already had a particular narrative.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my point.
And I get it, and I get your point, and I appreciate your point, and I'm listening to your point, and I'm hearing your point. What I'm saying is that
Donald Trump
is the one that created alternative news. Trump is that created at least his press secretary, alternative news, right? Alternative facts, in fact. She created fake news. They all did that. We no longer live in a world of facts. We live in a world of opinions. Now, most people will say, well, Mama Flip, you giving your opinion to Mel when you talk about Donald Trump and the things that happen. My thing is that I'm actually almost everything I say, if not everything I say, could be factually checked. Everything I say could be factually checked. I've been doing this a very long time. Very, very long time.
Yo, check this out. Hold on.
Yes.
Kevin says she's telling 2 lies a minute.
Which one? My attorney, Calvin?
Maybe.
No, if that's my attorney, tell my attorney Kelvin to come up. If that's my attorney Kelvin, don't let me have to cuss out my attorney Kelvin. If it's another Kelvin, I don't.
Oh no, not Calvin from the show. Kevin.
Okay. Man, I don't know that Kelvin. I don't give a damn about that Kelvin. I thought it was my attorney Kelvin because we were about to have a conversation. It was about to be another hour of arguing with him.
No, I gotta go now. We hit the 3-hour mark.
And I'm telling you right now, everything I said, you could clip it up. You could go to Chat GBT and you could check it. I've been doing this work for a lot of years. A lot of years. I'm not talking about stuff that at the top of my head that I read about. I'm talking about that I am politically connected, been part of a political party for a long time. I know the good things that Democrats have done. I also know the bad things that Democrats have done. Right? I could tell you one thing that's very heartbreaking right now that the Democrat has done that pissed me off. You understand what I'm saying? But everything I tell you is based on facts. A lot of stuff that you guys are feeling is based on feelings. A lot of you guys felt that the white community was not being respected any longer, that the race was being diluted, things was being taken away from them that you wanted to keep. You didn't care that other people lost their rights as long as you kept yours. That's it. That's just the way it is. Because there's no other explanation why you would vote for this cretin. He's the worst type of human being that you could put in office. The worst type with his record. There's no way. There's no redeeming quality when it comes to that. This is the worst human being. But you guys will say that even though he's a piece of crap, and I've had white people say it. Well, I had a live where they were like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he's my piece of shit. That's what you said, right? That's what they was told to me. So y'all prefer to vote for a piece of crap because he could give you what you want. And that's what it is.
We got to close it out. We've been going a long time.
But thank you.
I've been doing these lives all week.
I know.
I'm at the end of my journey.
I was thinking of taking today off because I had a celebration. I'm in my orange and blue. It was a great event.
I was out there.
You were there? Oh my God, I didn't know that. How did you enjoy it?
I couldn't even walk. It was so packed out. It's just.
I'm glad
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Though.
You didn't tell me you was
Of course. I'm not a New Yorker.
Of course, I know that, but I didn't know you were coming.
You have a weird bias. You're not looking at me as a New Yorker.
You should have told me you were coming. I could have got you close. How
you
far
guys,
were you? You could have met me. I got my son all the way near City Hall.
Oh, okay.
I was able to get us all in. You could have told me. I could have got you in. Why didn't you tell me?
I think you have a bias.
Oh my God!
You look at it. Inner city versus upstate. You guys have a bias.
No, I'm so glad you came. I'm glad you felt it. Did you feel the environment? Did you felt?
Yeah,
wasn't it beautiful. And this is
the cell service was terrible. But anyway, we gotta wrap this up because this has been a long. I do want to
end by saying that the Knicks brought a lot of us together in all political parties and stuff like that, and I love that about the Knicks. Like, I was hugging people I never met in my whole life. It didn't matter.
What?
And that's how the world we as Black folks should be cautious because a lot of messed up stuff is happening. But I love the fact that the Knicks was able to bring all New Yorkers, including Staten Island, together in this victory. It was a beautiful moment and I loved it. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Nice to have you on the show today. I'm going to close
Flip
out.
Slots, guys. Join the Mama Flip Slots. I'm going to go live on Slots tomorrow with Grandma Flip, and her birthday is next week. So please join us.
Okay. I'll have to make sure I get her something for her birthday.
I want to say she's a horrible speaker. We should do a poll.
Okay.
This is painful. Oh, poor Tito.
So let me close out the show. All right.
Yes, please do.
Briefly. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. There's so many divisions throughout the United States. I could list 1 million of them if I had the time, right? But one of them for sure is that we're so caught up in putting everybody in a box, right? You're white, you're Black, you're a Jew, you're a Gentile, We break people down into religion. Then we break people down as to their size, right? The skin color. And by the time you go through all of this filtering of everybody you meet, pretty much you no longer see the person they are inside, right? You see what you want them to be. So I want to say I appreciate all the people that support Watching the World. We hit 70,000 tonight. So thank you guys for doing that. I know Mama Flips is tough, but we've been doing this show for quite some time. Sometimes I call her the crucible. Like a lot of times we have amazing people. I'm actually a great chef. Most people wouldn't know that. I could make the best food you could probably think of, right? But anyway, you put in your ingredients, right? And you think you have a great dish going on. But it's not until you add the heat that you understand what you're making, right? And you get to benefit from the results. I think that as we go back and forth and we have this heat, like Mama Flip, she's the heat. Or we have Calvin, he also tests a lot of things that are said by all sorts of people that are coming in through the chat. Things I say, we're able to have it peered through a professional criminal defense attorney. I found that to be amazing, and sometimes we all come together. Did you appreciate doing a show with Calvin? Right?
Oh, he was amazing. Even we disagree. Him and I disagreed on certain things, and I thought he was amazing.
All right. So my message to all of you guys, everybody is welcome here. I only ask that you respect one another because we talk about some tough subjects. Over the last week and a half, we talked about Carmelo Anthony. That's a tough case. A lot of us are trying to still figure out what happened in regards to this case, and each side has their own theories on it. But great conversation between us. That's how we can elevate and sometimes come to a reasonable conclusion about what happened. And that's why we have these tough discussions. That's why we keep bringing Mama Flips back, even though some people get their feathers ruffled, right? Why do you do that, Mama Flips? Tell us, why do you do it? One sentence.
I gotta be honest.
Okay, all right. So she has to be honest. Okay, so we're gonna keep her. You guys have a great night. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. News at noon. It was a great night. We went 3 hours. Why did you keep me for 3 hours, Mama Flip? What's wrong with you? Okay, so she can answer with one sentence, right? But sometimes it's more difficult than life can bring. Thank you guys. Have a good night, and thank you, Mama Flips. You're far too kind.
Different voices, but the same song. Living a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the flame remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.